And a very big hello to everybody out there. Welcome back to Europa Sports Complex here in Gibraltar. I am Joe Wegasani and we are here for evening 7. That's right. We are over halfway through our wonderful FanCode T10 ECS series here in Gibraltar on the second most southernmost point on the European continent. Sunny, beautiful Gibraltar, and weren't those some wonderful scenes that we saw just before coming to air of this beautiful little peninsula with its famous rock. You can see the view out there over the Mediterranean Sea as we scan down to our players. They are ready to take the field. And we've got an exciting evening of cricketing action in front of us. We will have the Bavaria 11 taking on the Pirates. That's right, the Pirates are back. And they will be up against this Bavaria 11 reeling, one imagines, from their golden ball loss the other night to the Calpe Giants. And they will be looking to come back with a vengeance, but they're going to have to do it without their usual skipper, Ian Lattin. He's not in the lineup for this match, so losing a fair bit of firepower there. And as for the Pirates, well, I'll tell you what, they will think themselves a fairly good chance given that big out for Bavaria, and they are going into bat. It's going to be the young man, Louis Bruce, along with, of course, their skipper, the Ferrari, Karen Ferrari. And they'll be looking to get away to a quick start, one imagines. Bavaria taking the new ball. It looks like it's going to be Kenroy Nesta. Bavaria having won the toss and decided to field. You feel he will have an important role to play with the bat as well as the ball. And they do come in for their innings, but as it is, he will be bowling to young Bruce. It's a lovely sunny afternoon once again here in Gibraltar. Everyone's set, the batters are ready, the fielders are ready. The umpire says, does everyone want to play some cricket? The overwhelming response is yes, let's play some cricket. So we've got a third man and a deep point. Two fielders out. Otherwise, 4 on the leg side. All in on the circle. So we're set to go. Let's do this. Gibraltar, evening 7, here we go, match 13. Oh, it's a rank full toss, it's going to be a no ball and extras. This KNS just tries to get some rust out of the system. He's not the only one, as you can hear. So a big hello to everybody out there, especially on the YouTube channel, European Cricket Network. Why don't you jump on there and join around 260,000 other people subscribing to our YouTube channel. Of course, you can say hello in the chat like Wazamatron has done. Waza, evening to you. Lovely to have you back here again. So, 2 for none. Not a legitimate ball bowled yet. KNS coming in to Ferrari now. Well, he's just performed the same feat. This time, the wicketkeeper for Bavaria, Richard Bizaglo, who's also wearing the skipper's armband tonight. In the absence of Ian Lattin, takes a pretty nice catch, a pretty nice retrieval. Definitely cut off the seam when it did eventually land on the ground. So just not getting it right yet, KNS. It'll be really interesting to see how these teams do go up against each other. One does feel that in the context of the series, Bavaria, they've got some real firepower in the shed, and they have been there and thereabouts. And the Pirates, they feel that they'll be taking down a big scalp if they can take care of Bavaria here. So still yet to see a legitimate ball, and KNS has been taken out of the attack for the 2 no balls, of course. So replaced now by Robin Petrie, the dish. We'll have to finish this over, and that is a devastating blow as well for Bavaria. Starting with 2 no balls and losing one of their what would normally be 5 bowlers, so they're going to have to find 2 overs from someone else. Kenroy Nesta cannot bowl anymore. Here comes the dish. Robin Petrie. And that's a really good ball. Just moving away, moving in and cutting away from the right-hander. Very, very nice delivery and a big swing and a miss. So an important dot ball.
Any if I'm shouting, do they?
Yeah, that's certainly needed that.
I think my language.
Yes, it's another beautiful evening here. It's so used to having these first games played in the light. So it's going to be a wide. Ferrari did wave at it. Was tempted into the driving shot, but luckily for him, the ball sails past the bat. And once again, we've got palpable excitement in this stadium. It's not just the teams that are into it. We've got people coming home from work, joining us here. Beautiful ground, and that's another great nut from Petrie. Well, he has taken this responsibility on his shoulders, having to bowl a little bit earlier than he might have expected. He's doing it with a plum. And also big hello to you in the chat there, Michael Dalb. Big fan, patron of a great cricketing family here in Europe, as that's driven into the covers, but only as far as the now omitted bowler, Kenroy Nesta. He will certainly be feeling the onus to perform with the bat, given that he bowled 2 no balls and was taken out of the attack instantly. Gee, won't it be great if we've had 2 golden balls in a row, 2 nights in a row. I'd love to see another one here tonight. It's Petrie again. And that is an absolute jaffa of a delivery. Just caught Bruce on the crease. Not really coming forward or back and just waving the wand at it, and lucky not to get the edge. You should be able to start seeing the long shadows on the ground from all the players here as that sun slowly makes its way down in the west to the right of the screen. Here's Petrie again, and that is another great delivery. Well, this is some kind of over. Some kind of over being bowled by Robin Petrie. We had to come in and fill in for Kenroy Nesta, so he has bowled 5 dots in a row, all of them asking questions. As we, and he gets another one. I don't know how Bruce didn't get something onto that. Just in that perfect length. So that's first over done. Robin Petrie's over it was in the end. He takes the honours after 3 came off the first 2 no balls, 2 deliveries with no balls. He has bowled a maiden, and that means after 1 over, the Pirates are 6 for none. Talking about maidens, well, he's a man who might know a thing or two about them. He went away, went off up into Spain, decided he missed Gibraltar so much that he's come back for the night.
I have.
Hello, Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny's out of here, Mr. Maximo. And I am back across the border. Couldn't keep me out. Really enjoyed my time in Gibraltar. So today, had a bit of a tourist day, to be honest. I went up the rock. Big thanks to Rick Hatchman as well, who you'll see playing for the Pirates tonight. He organised myself and our ECL tournament referee Rob Kemming. We had a bit of a tour, and now I'm here at the cricket, so I'm pretty happy with the last night or two. Although I'm trying to wangle my way over maybe for the final on Wednesday night. But yeah, I've been watching with interest. And how about last night? Another golden ball.
Yeah.
2 nights, 2 golden balls. Surely couldn't go 3 and 3.
Oh, I'd love to see it. I'd love to talk to you about that actually in a moment. He's Bodder now, Samarth Bodder. Recently turned 19. It's a foolish ball. It's driven in Ferrari, but stopped there in the covers. 1 more to the total.
See Charles Harris in the chat saying Slogger's still buzzing after yesterday. Well, I can understand why. It was a pretty blockbuster finish, wasn't it? Back in match 11.
Absolutely was, and great for the competition as well. Just it's funny how often those low-scoring matches can actually be the most exciting ones.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, low-scoring thriller. Yeah, the run out of pie was important, wasn't it? When he just slipped over, going for a second. He's Sammy Boda though.
No, this one. Bruce has gone chasing at a wider one and just got the toe edge of the bat. To no avail.
Yeah, so you had your first solo Golden Ball experience. I guess we were both on the other night, weren't we?
Yeah.
And that Coldplay Giants Golden Ball win.
Yeah, that was a little bit taken by the moment, but in the end, it was just such a thrilling finish.
Shows you how even these teams are, though. These 5 teams in this Gibraltar competition.
This time, another wider, fuller one that Bruce manages to make connection with. Talk about connection. Those two have made a connection out on the field. Julian Santos and Ken Roy Nesta just giving each other a little hip tickle.
Curious to see the start of this one as well, with Kenroy just losing the handle on a couple.
Yeah.
That means that he can't bowl any legal deliveries. They lose 2 overs there from him, you'd imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Gonna have to find someone else as Boda goes searching for the pads and just drifts wide down the leg side. Well taken.
Already hampered by no Ian Latin in the lineup. You'd know that he'd normally bowl 2 overs if his leg spin bowled reasonably well the other night. Also, they're really going to miss him with the bat, aren't they? But a couple of new players come in. Carl Santos, Julian Santos as well. But yeah, big holes to fill in the Bavarian side.
Yeah.
Michael Daub's liking the fact there's a Bavaria team as soon as he's logged in, of course, being from Germany.
Certainly does. So that one's lifted up over the infield. That's going to be first boundary of the night. One bounce over the rope for 4. The Ferrari, the automobile. Kieran Ferrari has got going. Just lifting that one up with ease.
You'd say so far he's not going to be booked for speeding, is he? Broken boundary for the Pirates.
Yeah, it's a really interesting conundrum, that losing such a key bowler. So this one goes chasing another one. I think they've got an edge, but in the end, Bazaglo just diving to his right, couldn't quite cling on to it. I think the umpire called a wide there, Vinny, did he?
Yeah, that was the final call on this one, but I think there might have been some bat on that. It might have been...
Definitely deviated, didn't it?
Yeah, but I think... Oh, actually, I think that's out. Except he dropped it. I thought for a second it might have been a bump ball, but yeah, no, I think it was a single and it was given a single. So yeah, correct umpiring. I think it was just inside the wide line. If he didn't hit it, I don't think it would have been on wide. Decent crowd in tonight for a Saturday night.
Yeah, it certainly is. I've already heard that. I think is one of the worst national chants in the world. The Aussie, Aussie, Aussie chant going up.
It's a bit dated now, isn't it?
Bowled up. Look at the drive. He just gets inside edge. There might be a run out chance, but for the fact that Robin Petrie just had to get a hold of that a little bit quicker and have it off.
Yeah.
As it is, the second over comes to a close, and it's a 15 for the loss of no wickets.
Yeah, gamble on the one hand to pick up, trying for a quick release. But just a reminder, this is match number 13 of this FanCode European Cricket T10. There's the teams there. Like I said, no Ian Latin in the side. And that'll be a big hole for Bavaria. The Pirates, well, they really need a win, don't they? I mean, anything can happen. They still have 4 games to go. We've seen that things have tightened up with Tarek losing that game. So, yeah, Rick Hatchman, I think we haven't seen the best of him with the bat yet as well. He hits a long ball. Ferrari, of course, very important puncher with the bat and the ball. And young Louis Bruce, well, nice to see him again. So, plenty of players to watch. And looking forward to bringing you the action here, and this is what the supercomputer is saying. The robot says 107 to 87 for Bavaria, but you wonder if it factored in the fact that there's no Ian Latin in the lineup. So I actually think the Pirates, I think it's even Stevens, perhaps even with those outs, maybe they're slight favourites. I think they really need this win. Yeah,
they really do, and they would have taken a lot of heart from the Sloggers' victory last night. And they would know that they're probably battling it out for that 4th position with the Sloggers.
Victory to continue.
And drops it short this time, and it's just going wide and called as such by the umpire.
Question: if you come on and bowl 6 dot balls, does that give you a maiden or not?
Well, that was exactly the thing, right? Because he came on, he bowled 6 dot balls, but he finishes it with
I think
3 in the over.
Yeah.
Might have to get the supercomputer to have a look at that. Someone just shot of a length, and Bruce puts his elbow up and firmly faces the ball with a flat bat.
Yeah, I mean, I was on my way over here, so were there any wides or anything in that first over after Kenroy got taken out?
There were 2 off the first no ball and then the second no ball, so 3. And then Petrie bowled an absolutely brilliant over, 6 dot balls. Oh, he's got a big edge. Yeah, trying to play it away to leg side, and Petrie is sort of angling it in and moving it away, and he got that edge, and despite his best efforts, Bazaglo could not get it. So 4 more runs, a sketchy 4 runs to young Louis Bruce.
Yeah, he's just wrong-footed here. Bazaglo, who's a pretty good keeper, but I don't think anyone was getting this one.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
It's a tough one. So to a bowler that's getting in swing, I used to try and stay as far leg side as I could for as long as I could so that I wasn't wrong-footed. You see how there he's going with his swing of the ball and then having to change direction. So it's just a little thing, little positioning thing, but fortunate runs for the Pirates.
Well, he tries to counter by coming down the track, but in the end it was a shorter one. He just slaps it away to point for a single.
Michael in the chat is asking what temperature is right now.
Yeah.
Well, it's 18 degrees, currently very, very sunny. We know that in approximately 1 hour the sun will go down, and yeah, it does drop in temperature pretty significantly when that happens. So a very different feel between the first match and the second match of the night in this Gibraltar FanCode European Cricket T10.
Petrie in now and just delivering that really good length. He's putting Sammy in close, Sammy out wide, but just consistently at that length, tempting the batters into the drive. Yeah, it's totally different, and I'll tell you what, with Bavaria winning the toss and bowling, it's something we also haven't seen too often. Very often in the first match, the side that wins the toss wants to put runs on the board in the sunlight, which is also understandable. Well, he comes down the pitch, tries to meet it, and he does meet it. Not quite with the full face of the bat, but it lifts up square of the wicket and over the rope for 4 runs.
Yeah, clever shot. Just knows he needs to get enough bat on this and kind of opens the face, slices it away. You see the Mediterranean in the background. You might even see a little bit of Morocco in the background. He had a great view from the top of the rock, or close to the top of the rock today. Morocco is looking very, very nice. Also see the southern tip of Spain.
So I'm going to ask you a question about that in a second, Vinny. He's Petrie, and this one more direct to the stumps, but still getting that nice movement away from the right-hander, and that means that the over has come to a close. Petrie after 2. Well, he's going for 14, and after 3 overs, the Pirates are 26 for none.
Go ahead then, all ears.
So when you're looking out from the tip of Gibraltar towards Africa, you're seeing two national territories.
Yeah, I actually said that at the time. I said, I'm in one country and I'm looking at 2 other countries. So it was very strange. Apart from the fact that you're in one continent and you're looking at another.
But you're looking at another country on that continent.
Yeah.
So you're looking at Morocco.
Yeah.
And you're looking at Spain.
Yes.
Because
yeah, exactly.
As we found out, there's a little enclave, a little Spanish enclave.
Yeah.
Over there by just in Morocco called Ceuta.
Yeah.
Ceuta.
Yeah, I actually was told about that today. Actually, funny you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's like the Spanish Gibraltar of Africa.
Yeah, that was mentioned. So, I mean, it was basically, there's a really interesting map which just shows how it's, I won't say the center of the world, but as far as shipping and stuff goes, it kind of is. They had it right in the middle of the map. Anyway, 4th overtime, and it's going to be Reyes to continue.
Yeah, Reyes has got a big job here as he lands that one, more full ball, just driven off the toes for a single. Got a big job to try to contain in these overs. And the Pirates aren't going at the highest clip, as we heard from Sam Horton last night. They want to be going at about 35, 40 after the power play. They are on 27. And this one coming back in to Louis Bruce, who paddles it away to mid-wicket and takes a single.
Yeah, it's Ceuta. Something like that.
Yeah.
Work on my pronunciation, but
really interesting.
Yeah, well, going up there was amazing. We went to these caves which had a light show in there, which was just incredible. Quite a big cave, that one, and we went through some of the old military caves as well, and a bit of a glass bottom bridge as well, which is a bit hairy. This next one swept away, and this one will be a bit of a chase for the fielder. He does well. Love seeing the fielders throw themselves around. That's John Matthews.
Good
Bowled
throw as
very
well.
well the other night as well. So he'll be a key bowler, I think, in the absence of Nesta, who won't be able to bowl again. And, of course, Latin not playing tonight.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I wouldn't be surprised if Christian Lowe has the responsibility of bowling those other two. But let's find out. That will all unfold in due course. Yeah, so tunnels, light shows, glassed walkways. It's a remarkable place. I really invite anybody who's in this part of the world, come and visit Gibraltar.
Well, certainly
It's driven off the toes down to mid-on for another single.
do recommend it. And even the view we've got here is pretty nice as well. Now we're over the 10 wicket boundary in the grandstand now, and the water in the background forms a nice little postcard for us.
Yeah, pretty good, isn't it? Here's Reyes. Just getting that off his toes once again, Louis Bruce. So he's looking in good shape against Reyes. But still not able to get him away from any boundaries. I think Kieran Ferrari's going to have to take that responsibility. And so they definitely want to be putting on 95 plus, even over 100 to feel like they're in this. As he lifts up one over mid-off and gets another run. Yeah, I heard another interesting fact about The Rock.
Yep.
As the fourth over comes to a close, the score is at 33 for none. There are more tunnels inside The Rock than there are more kilometres of tunnel than there are kilometres of road outside.
That, I believe, even though it's a strange one, but having gone through them today, we only went a little bit into them. You see the Union Jack being flown there, and
So
interestingly,
there's Morocco.
yep, you
If
can
you
see
look at
that's
the screen.
Africa in the background there. Yeah, that's Morocco. Join us in the live chat as well. If you have any questions about where we are, ECN European Cricket Network, go back to that shot. That was a really nice one. But do have Wazza in there, Michael, Iggy as well. So the new over begins.
Yeah, he's low as expected to try to get through these two overs without too much punishment, but he's going to be punished on that first one because it has found the rope down at third man. On a sort of backward point. Nice cut shot by Ferrari.
Yeah, Iggy saying in the chat, not sure which team to support here. Good mates in both teams. Well, there's just a real sense of the community to this cricket scene, isn't there? As you'd imagine, after no cricket at all for 5 years, everyone's just itching to get out there and participate.
So full of one from low, it's full toss and it's been spanked. Well, that's almost coming all the way to us. Absolutely deposited over the mid-wicket boundary, and Ferrari is turning the engine on, that's for sure.
That's it. It's got the top down now. It wasn't a good delivery. It's the kind of delivery we've seen missed sometimes. Might have been LBW shout, but Ferrari wasn't going to miss out on that. The first Maximo of this, night number 7.
And this time he goes square on the offside through the covers, and that is another well-placed shot. He's not hitting them too hard, is he?
Yeah, he's really just timing it and placing it at the moment, and that's a nice shot through the line of the ball. And the results another boundary. Low, who was a bit hit and miss, put it that way the other night. He was a bit of a last ball hero for a time for Bavaria.
It's a better ball, just turning it away from the right hander, gets a sketchy edge, but along the ground to third man and sets off for a single.
Yeah, so we went into the military tunnels. I mean, the history is just something else of this part of the world. We only got to go in a little bit because the entry is the exit. If you go in too deep, then you have to go back. So we were going to miss the game if we went all the way.
Oh, this one he's looking for the LBW shout, and he's been given. So full of ball, and Bruce plays across the line. That one that rocketed into his front pad, and he is gone for 9.
Yeah, Louis Bruce couldn't quite get going again tonight. They used him up the top of the order. We'll have a look at this. This is what the umpire sees. Fairly full. He does give up his stumps.
Back leg, wasn't
That
it?
is walkable, wasn't
Yeah.
it? It was back leg. It was hitting the middle of middle. Louis Bruce trying to force the issue, but he does become the first wicket of the night. But ends a bright opening partnership of 48. It's 48 for 1.
Yeah, nice opening partnership, and just with that heavy hitting by Ferrari in the previous over, they have lifted that run rate to that kind of 10 area. It looks like Ravi Punchel's coming out now, and he's a good choice, I think, at number 3. More often known for his bowling, but pretty handy with the bat, Punchel.
Yeah, I think it's a good move because he's the kind of guy that he likes a bit of time to play himself in, and he's got a few balls, I think, to at least get going. He's happy at the moment as well, probably to take the one. And I reckon someone like Rick Hatchman at number 4 could be the go.
Yeah.
Just in the last quarter of the innings.
This one veering down leg, and it's going to be extras as well because, unfortunately for Bazaglo, same pass, he's outstretched left hand, reached the boundary, and it's 5 wide.
It's a really tough one. Bazaglo just almost gets there, but he was just a fraction late of identifying that one. Look, it's kind of on the bowler, and he'll pay the penalty for that. So Loads does have the wicket, but he's been really expensive so far in this 5th over.
Yeah, and the fuller one, he's going to be more expensive because that's found the gap, and it's going to the fence. It's going to beat the fielder as well. Both of them converging from backward square leg and mid-wicket, trying to get there in time, but alas, they could not. 4 more runs.
Yeah, so that's the end of the over, and there were 24 runs off the over, though it does remove Louis Bruce, but Lowe won't be happy with that. It's 57 for 1 at the halfway point of this first innings.
Yeah, just about gotten back to where they want to be, I'd say, after a pretty slow power play. That's been some good hitting in the previous few as we have a look at the batting scorecard there. Ferrari motoring along on his merry way. And I think, yeah, you're right, with Ravi Panchal, he will feel good with having hit that boundary and know that he just has to play that kind of anchoring innings. So you can, so you drove into a military tunnel and you could keep on driving all the way through the rock.
You don't drive in, you walk. So you kind of got dropped near the entrance and then you go in. And it's actually, you have to duck your head in some place. I'm about 6 foot, but I'm glad I'm not any taller because it does warn you.
Well, that one's been lifted up off the length, 1 bounce to the fielder. Cow corner.
It does warn you to mind your head. Easier said than done though, because you're in a fairly dimly lit cave. And we've got some good little almost ghost train bits where these motion sensors, hey, who goes there? Things like that. It's pretty frightening actually.
Reminds me of the old ghost train.
Yeah, it was. It was like that. It was really, really interesting. And the views are just amazing. We had a good view of the airport and the runway, how it's actually intersects with the main road, which you don't always see.
This one from Reyes, so it's been swept away and it's been swept into a pretty nice gap, but Samath Boda comes around with conviction and prevents any more than just the single.
Really good fielding that. Really, really good fielding. He had to move and did well to keep that to 1. Of course, only about 3 flights a day. It's actually what stopped us getting across the board. The plane was coming in, holding up all the traffic.
Well, this one's been lifted up in the air, but unfortunately falls into no man's land. Fortunately for Ferrari, that is, who moves to 34 with another single. Yeah, it's one of the most fascinating places I've ever been.
Yeah, so from the rock, you obviously can see the whole peninsula. And it's quite narrow where the border is.
That one's slapped away to mid-wicket. They run through for a quick single, and it's pretty good fielding. But in the end, Christian Lowe just could not have it in quick enough to prevent the run being completed. Yeah, so just for anyone tuning in, Gibraltar, this peninsula just stretching out from the bottom of Spain, and you cross the border and you walk across the runway. Oh, they think they found an edge and he's walking. Yeah, Ferrari's walking. So that's good bowling in the end from Reyes. He's been putting in a few fuller, and that one he just pulled it back a little bit and attempted the cut shot outside off and got the edge, and good keeping by Bazaglo as well.
Yeah, it would have been a wide, but credit to Ferrari. You've seen that a couple of times from him. He knew he nicked it and he walked, so not forcing the umpire to make a decision. Good sportsmanship, but he will be pretty happy with his contribution tonight. 34 off 20, but he's excellently caught behind by acting captain tonight, Richard Bazaglo, and that's both openers gone actually now into 6 overs. It's 61 for 2.
Yeah, this is no big surprise to see Adetayo Adeloye come out, the former Nigerian national.
Yeah, that's right. And well, he does like to have a go, doesn't he? I mean, it's a perfect situation for him to come out as well. They've got some hitters now, and they've built a good base. I mean, they're going at 10s. Probably Louis Bruce again, top of the order. I'm starting to think maybe that's not where he should bat. I'm thinking maybe someone that he can come out and can hit a long ball. Maybe should be batting something like 6, concentrating on his bowling in this form of the game. I mean, I know it's good experience for him, but yeah, just he's been having a few too many dot balls so far.
Yeah.
That would take the pressure off his batting a little bit, I think.
Yeah,
But
and his bowling is more than up to the measure.
Yeah, certainly.
We've found. Yeah, I think that's a good call, Vinny. It's no, I can completely understand that when you're more kind of technical batters. John Matthews comes into the attack, and he's very technically sound. I would say there's a few little things that will come with age, but he.
I think he just takes the pressure off him a little bit.
Yeah.
Feeling he's not responsible for the whole innings. Yeah. As much of the whole innings.
So short, and that has been pulled with authority all the way over the fence. That is a big
Maximo. John Matthews, welcome. There's no time for warm-up balls here. Ravi Panchal was all over it like a rash. Got to get some good position, gets that back foot back and across. Just a quick skip step across, and then bang, 6 runs. And Pirates looking good at this stage.
Yeah, no, that's that will have him filling up and about. He's for sure Ravi Panchal, and Matthews, he doesn't want to drop him in short like that. I don't think he's quite generating the pace to trouble Panchal with that line. So he goes out to the offside this time, and it's been dropped by Kenroy. Well, he is having a mare in the field tonight.
You want to do something right in the second half of this game, because you're right, it hasn't gone great from so far. This should be good though. That's a lawyer. Take no prisoners approach.
Yeah, he's not the kind to build into his innings slowly. So short, and he pulls it straight away, and it's probably got through it a little bit quicker than he had to, so it went quite fine. And Andrew Reyes down there, cow corner, collected it and had it back in. 1 more run to the total.
Yeah, that's well hit, but that boundary's protected out there. Reyes, he's a key batter as well for Bavaria, isn't he? See him probably opening up in the second half of this match.
So shot again. There's a bit of seam movement back in, but he's lifted it over. Well, Ravi Panchal, he's got his batting pants on at the moment. He has lifted that over mid-wicket. 1 bounce over the rope, 4 more.
Yeah, he was tested again with a short ball, but Matthews at this pace. Panchal had plenty of time to get in position, and he was quite clever there because he hits it straight over the head of the man in the circle, and normally there's a gap behind, as there was that time. Nice shot.
Fuller from Matthews, and he ducks under the bat. The cross-batted swipe of Ravi Panchal. His eyes lit up, but not too much pace on the ball, so it just fell below the eye line and passed through harmlessly to the keeper.
He's got off to a good start here, Panchal, with 2 4s and a 6. 8 balls faced. You want to get him up over that 100 mark, and a few more after that as well.
He comes down the pitch and he smacks that straight as a dice all the way. Watch out if you're a cameraman, because that ball is coming for you. 4 more.
That was absolutely whack. Shot of the day. Just the pure power. And that fielder on the boundary, that's Julian Santos. Only had to move about 5 metres, but couldn't do it. And there's the walking sticks after 7 overs. 77 for 2.
Yeah, I think this is a great little opportunity to have a look at the European Cricket League. That is, of course, what you went off to go and just cast an eye over everything. Everything
I'll
looking
be there
all
tomorrow.
good up there.
Yeah, you won't see me again here until possibly the final on Wednesday evening. But only 2 more sleeps, and we start with Tunbridge Wells versus Farnholm on Monday morning, followed by Austria versus Luxembourg, and also we'll see Fleur and Helsinki Titans in that Group A. It's a really good stop by Zaglo. This is actually going to be a no ball. I don't see this again. If he stopped this and it was off the pitch down leg side, that's an outstanding stop. Look at this. It's all about seeing it early.
Yeah.
And well, he kind of got helped out by a bit.
Cut back into him.
Cut back. So this is going to be a free hit now.
So Lowe doesn't want to repeat Nestor's mistake. Keep this one on track. It's going to be a wide, and Zaglo's managed to get a little bit of hit behind it.
Another free hit coming up. And yeah, just the extras costing them in more ways than one tonight, Bavaria, when you think about those 2 high no balls early, cost Nestor the ability to bowl essentially at all.
This one again will have to be done again. So still a free hit. Low just unable to quite get his line right here.
Yeah, that's already 3 for nothing, isn't it, in this over? And still a free hit to start. Adaloy, he'd love to get one away here out of the middle of the bat.
Spin line, and Adaloy's done just that. And a diving attempt at mid-wicket, unable to rein it in, but fortunately Andrew Reyes can come in. There's been a bit of a mix-up in the middle, but then Reyes couldn't decide which end to throw to, and so he threw it straight to the middle of the wicket.
We had a great
couldn't affect. It's a great view, isn't it?
We had a great view on this because they were both batters and the ball were in the middle of the pitch about here, and they realised they were going to be fine. Might as well kept running and got the extra run, and that wouldn't have been a catch. So that was actually an excellent stop. Saves 2 runs. This one's going to be down leg side again. It's going to be more freebies, I think. And come back for 2 that are run. We'll wait on the umpire for the signal, and I think this time. Yes, it's going to be 3 more wides. Yeah, but that stop by, I think it's John Matthews at mid-wicket. Yeah, it wouldn't have been a catch, but he did take the sting out of it. Otherwise, that certainly was heading for the boundary that about 2 balls ago.
So straight on this time and snuffled out. And there's that man, John Matthews at mid-wicket, collecting it. And they end up getting the free hit, taking a run from it. And Lowe can continue his over.
So
it's already had a practice one.
They've been pretty good in the over rate department this week, but these extras are going to test them for time.
Oh, there's going to be more of this now because that is another wide run through as well, so 2 more to the total.
They've got Crom down there really fine now, almost as a pseudo backstop.
And I'll tell you what this over can do is really set the platform for the Pirates to try and go big in the last 2. They've still got plenty of wickets in the shed, and they're already inching towards that triple-digit mark. And that's what Ravi Panchal tried to do, but it was really nice bit of keeping behind the stumps, faint edge. Bazaglo, no worries at all. He gathers, Panchal walks, he is out of here. And I've just said they've got wickets in the shed. Well, they're going to be using them because they are now 87 for the loss of 3.
Lowe might end up with one of the most expensive twofers we've ever seen on ECN. Yeah, this one does get online.
Sky high,
It's, well done. I really like Bazaglo. I know he had his moment the other night where he missed one delivery that he feels really cost him in the match, but I think all things considered, he's done a great job behind the stumps. He's doing his best today as well. He's probably saved at least half a dozen runs. But Panchal, he goes for a quick fire 22 off only 11 balls. It's 87 for 3 if you're Australian. Well, it's the old 87 hitting the wicket.
Danger mark.
Yeah, 13 off 100.
I hope the Rocket Gibraltar doesn't come crumbling down now with the Pirates being on 87. Sure, they're not the first Pirates to attend these shores. Here comes Lowe, and he's going to be asking. He's going down leg, but hits him on the full. Hatchman unable to connect with the cross-batted Hoift.
I wondered if you got a little bit of bat on this.
Yeah,
might have saved him. Maybe going down leg side. Hatchman, he's just got to survive the first couple of balls. He can hit it a long way, Rick.
He's going to try and do just that, and that is just what he has done. A long way, all the way over the fence. 6 to get off the mark. Rick Hatchman.
Yeah, well, it's all or nothing for the big Rick. And just have a look at this as Lowe. I'd love to see the most expensive twofer we've ever had because I think we might be heading for it. When you think of all the extras and stuff in this over. Anyway, he's got 2 for 40. The record all-time expensive analysis in a T10 is 50 in our cricket. So he's not going to do that many, you'd imagine. But won't speak too soon. Last ball for Lowe.
Well, he's put it on the stumps this time, but it's been dragged away, and they'll get a single, meaning that Lowe's spell comes to an end. He's got 2 for 41, and after 8 overs, the Pirates, they're 94 for the loss of 3.
Yeah, so in the end, Lowe, very, very expensive, but does get 2 wickets, as you see. Morocco the
big part behind the ship on the right, that is Morocco.
Yeah.
But then behind the ship to the left is that little bit of Spain.
Ceuta.
And that mountain in Morocco, when we're talking mountains, we'll have a look at the mountain that the Pirates are accumulating here.
Almost traced over it, isn't it?
Yeah. And that mountain is called Jabal Musa.
Okay.
And apparently, so there's a Greek mythological legend about Hercules splitting the pillars.
Oh, right.
Yeah, in his 12 labours, and he went as far west in the world as he could, and we'll come back to that in a moment. As this is John Matthews coming into complete his spell. He's going to ask a question, but it's going down leg, almost a carbon copy of one of those shouts in the previous over. So apparently when Hercules was set off for his 12 labours, he had to go and complete a task that brought him here, and he split this giant mountain into two.
Yeah.
And that created the Strait of Gibraltar.
So
And so one of the pillars is our rock, the Rock of Gibraltar. As that one's being lifted up to mid-wicket and the fielder's coming in, but no one's going to get there. And so they run one. So one of the pillars is our rock, and the other pillar is that mountain in Morocco.
Yeah,
And
fantastic.
that's been
Good insight, Joe.
remarked on throughout history.
No, you do tours and stuff like that around Europe, so your knowledge is second to none of some of the historical significance of the geography of the region.
Yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about Europe, isn't it? Is that one sails past the swinging blade of Ataloye, passes through to the keeper's gloves for no run. Yeah, it's just one of the beautiful things. It's one, I think it's what we can say about European cricket. Just so many different places that we get to travel to, and
29 countries, I think, we've had games in so far. Something like 39 cities or something like that. So, yeah, it's been great to get around to so many of them. Matthews fighting back.
this one pulled away short of a length, and it's going to beat the fielder at mid-wicket, and it's going to reach over the fence. 6 big ones.
Yeah, Ataloya, who hasn't really middled anything yet. Well, this is a nice shot, and again, once again, Matthews just a little bit too short. Yeah, one took on the fielder and one low. Can't take a trick down there on the deep wicket boundary. Threw out the hand, but it was well over him. So
100 comes up.
the Pirates want more. They've got 8 balls to spare.
Full again, and he's hit it along the carpet this time, so Low should be able to get down low and stop that one.
3 fielders protecting the leg side boundary. In fact,
4 of them.
In fact,
5 of them.
Yeah, I just realised all 5 of the leg side fielders are on the boundary. So that's quite an unusual field. You've got 4 infielders on the offside and 5 just protecting that leg side.
Don't put anything wide outside off.
And we're just basically saying, look, try and take on the outfielders if you dare.
Well, he's going to do exactly that, and he's going to accomplish it, because that is another big 6. Hatchman, Rick, he's getting going now.
Nice shot.
Yeah, great shot. Just watched it.
You get to a stage in the innings where you don't really care where the fielders are. You're just backing yourself, especially on the ground with these dimensions, to be able to clear them. That's exactly what Hatchman does. 9 overs down, 108 for 3, and the Pirates setting up a healthy first innings total, and that actually takes them past the Bavarian expected score. So Pirates only expected to score 87. You see how well they've performed. I think it's all to do with the fact their batting's clicked. Ferrari got them off to a good start. Panchal didn't waste any balls on the way to his 22, and now Hatchman and Ataloya are picking it up, and looks like a strong finish this innings. Still 7 wickets in hand, so they're not going to run out of batters. Boddock comes back for the 10th and final over.
Yeah, and he's the right man for it. He's a bit too full, that ball, but he does get some nice natural movement in the air, and on that time it beats Ataloye. So I think for Boddo here, the aim is just contain it. This could get messy if he is taken, and that's a good way to do it. Just, you know, we've still got that field. All 5 fielders on the leg side out on the ring. So anything wide is on the offside is going to be super tempting. Ataloye here. He himself is walking towards the leg side as the ball comes in. That one strikes him on the pads. It sets off for a leg bye.
Yeah, so Sam Houghton's in the chat as well. He's enjoying a history, as was I. Got Prashant Bandari in there, who's a bit hot and cold, let's say, on Christian Lowe's bowling. That's what his bowling's been like tonight. Hello to Sam as well.
Yeah, big hello to Sam. It's wonderful having him here last night. Gave us great insights on some of his cricketing action here and other parts around Europe and in Brazil. He told us he was playing in Brazil. He's a full ball outside off, and Like Hatchman getting into his own head there.
I think my approach would probably be, if it's on the offside, I want to hit it on the offside.
Yeah.
Because
Look at the gaps.
there's no outfielders. And there's big gaps between. There's only 4 men protecting that offside. Sure, it's on the leg side, then try and whack it for 6 on the legs. Anyway, see what Boda comes up with.
He's attacking the stumps and it's just angling down, passes the batter, passes the leg stump by mere centimetres. But as it is, just a dot ball.
So just pulling it back here, Boda. He's having a pretty good series. Man turned 19 during the week.
Last ball of the innings, and that is Cotton Edge, and he's giving him, yes, great work by Boda. He will finish his spell with probably the best figures, 1 for 10. And that means that after their 10 overs, the Pirates, they finish on 109 for the loss of 4, and that is a good total, I feel, Vinny.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's maybe a handful above average. And Bazaglo, I've got to hand it to him as well. He took 3 catches in that innings and also saved a bunch of runs with some wayward bowling. And, you know, it keeps him in the game. I think more or less that's a par total. 105 to 110, I think is what we were saying was probably par. That's the zone they find themselves in. Nice work by the umpires as well, I have to say. I think they were very impressive once again. A good team effort in the batting. As you see, all the batters probably that came in after falls of wickets are able to get going straight away. Adeloye with 10 not out. Hatchman going last ball for 14. But early on, once again, it was the Ferrari who was pulling out of the garage, and he got them off to a pretty decent start after Kenroy Nesta was sensationally barred from the attack for 2 dangerous high deliveries. Bit of luck there along the way, but also some very nice shots on the way to this score of 109.
Yeah, it's certainly showing he was able to play it on all corners of the ground. The Ferrari, as he pulled out of the garage and set off down the motorway on his way to 34 of 21, and a good foundational innings to set his team up for what I think they'll feel is a pretty good total.
Yeah, I like Ferrari. I like the way he goes about it. I think he was reasonably selective about what he went over. When he went over the outfield as well, over the infield, that was a nice shot through the covers as well. As Lowe, he came on, he got Bruce, and that was after he'd already gone for 15 runs off his first 4 balls. And then, just these extras I think really cost him in the end. Some teams have had these kind of problems. In fact, there were 16 wides and 3 no balls and a bye. So there's 20 avoidables in that innings. And
which would be the 3rd highest scorer.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you think about 109 versus 89, what you want to chase. Anyway, Reyes was able to pick up Ferrari. So that was just a point in the game where you felt things could head south. But say Ravi Panchal came out, hit the ball really nicely, especially pouncing on those short deliveries, and his quick 20 was just really important in keeping things going for the Pirates.
Yeah, not only that, but once he was out, then Hatchman came in and he was able to keep hitting it. He got to 14 off at 6. We're just having a look at some of Ravi Panchal's work, and
I'm gonna have to mention though the last over. We'll get there in a second. First, we see that was probably the best one I think from Ravi. Absolutely crunched that, but that one he didn't, straight up in the air. But these overs, 7, 8, 9, went for 16, 17 and 14. And so that's 47 in 3 overs. And Boda comes back and only concedes 1 in the last over.
And takes a wicket.
Off the last ball. So, I mean, Boda, he went for 9 in his first over, only 1 in the second that he bowled. It's a really important contribution if indeed they are able to chase these runs down.
Yeah, and I think we've got to keep in mind those 2 overs that Kenroy Nesta would have bowled. So they have to be filled, and they were by Lowe and Matthews.
Yeah, well, it meant they had to bring Lowe back, who didn't have a great first over going for 24, but they were kind of running out of options, weren't they? As you see, that was Hatchman that finally went, but what a last over from Sunis Boda, as they end up 109 for 4. Well, that's game on. I don't want to say it's going to be another first game golden ball. That'll be a hat trick. It'll be a hat trick that we'll remember for a long time if it is, as we see the scorecard. And Ferrari top scoring with 34 off 21, but Panchal, Adeloye and Hatchman all contributed towards that total, as did extras, you have to say, 20 of them. Bruce, again, at the top of the order. He was involved in that first partnership of 48, but you just wonder where the best place is for him to bat. Maybe it's worth experimenting with him a little bit more. Certainly a player I think has a lot of talent. And Nesta, yes, like I say, he didn't even bowl legal delivery, so I had to use 6 bowlers in total. Petrie, I think, bowled pretty well early on. Only conceded 14 of his 2 overs.
Bowled a maiden.
Yeah, essentially, of sorts. And Boda and Reyes with a wicket. but for me, I thought that that low, like I said, a bit expensive, 241 and Matthews, none for 30, so 5th and 6th bowlers going for a fair few in this one. Anyway, Joe, it's been a really interesting start to the night. So it's been great to be back here in Gibraltar. When we return, it will be Bavaria. I'll be chasing 110 for victory, so join us in just a few minutes. And also, don't forget to leave us your questions and comments in the live chat. But for now, it's Finny Sandu, Mr. Maximo, along with Joe Wegasani. See you shortly for more FanCode European Cricket, T10, Gibraltar.
And welcome back to the Europa Sports Complex. I am Joe Wegasani, and we are here for the second innings of match 13 here on night 7 of the FanCode T10 ECS Series Gibraltar. We've had such a sensational week here. About halfway through the tournament now. We're entering the second half. And things are looking fairly even Stevens, it's got to be said. The Pirates came out and put on a pretty decent total. They will be trying to defend 110 against Bavaria here, and Bavaria, they're without their captain, Ian Lattin, who's been one of the top scorers in this tournament so far. In him not being there, they're going to be relying heavily on Andrew Reyes, Andrew Crom, who's also come in to open the batting. Reyes himself, he's made 105 runs. His first ball, the one that is defended away. So Reyes is going to have a big responsibility here in lieu of Lattin not being present. And Louis Bruce with the new nut. I feel this is a good spot for him, as that one is full outside off and driven along the carpet. Ataloya gathers, and they take 1 run, so off the mark. Crom. Sense that there's a bit of anticipation. It's always wonderful here. So Saturday night, and the grandstand is got bums on seats at the moment. There's that one just veering onto the leg side. It's been chipped away down to backwards square leg. So 1 more to the total. Yeah, we've got this lovely grandstand, and every evening there are Gibraltarians coming in, sitting down and spending the evening watching some cricket. There's a nice little hubbub around. And I think with that good total, 109 that the Pirates put on, there is a sense that Bavaria, who probably came into this favourites, they're going to have some work in front of them. That one well left by Crom as it veers down the leg side, so wide. We have much of a breeze today. We have noticed the wind changing throughout the series, sometimes coming left to right, sometimes right to left, and it's a bit of a nothing breeze at the moment. As that one is a good ball, just pitching outside off, but cutting into Crom. Does well to just keep it out and reset. That's a dot. A lot of responsibility for young Louis Bruce. As we mentioned, he has been opening the batting, hasn't really been able to get away. I feel that opening the bowling is definitely a role that he's suited for. On that occasion though, he's just getting it wrong, and pretty good work by Kieran Ferrari, just diving to his left and managing to prevent that going for any more than just the 1 wide. Probably hear the warm smatterings of applause and hubbub and spectators. We've also got this road, so behind where the camera is there's a road running. There are always cars stopping and people watching as a fuller ball is driven down to mid-off by Reyes. So pretty slow start by Bavaria. I think they're going to have to keep an eye on this run rate, that is for sure. We've seen some teams chasing lower totals and really not pushing it through in the early overs, but here they're going to have to go about 10 and over, and he's going to try and do that. Finding the fence, but all he does is find Ravi Punchal out there at long on, who hurdles the ball back to the keeper, and lucky not to have any overthrows recorded against him. So that's the end of the first over. 7 for none, Bavaria, and looking like they've got a bit of a task in front of them. They're going to have to be quite gallant in their batting here. And talking about gallantry, here is a gallant man, Vinny Sandu, back in the commentary box.
You're too kind, Joe. One thing I did today, there's a big cannon lined up next to the entrance of the military caves. Some people riding it. Normally there's signs saying please don't ride the cannon, but to be fair, I didn't see a sign. But maybe that's, this part of the world just a little bit more laid back, I think.
So was can I ask you an odd question? Was the cannon pointing up or down?
It was pretty much sideways.
It's just pointing straight out.
Neutral. Good question though.
So
Hey, anyway,
well,
back to the game.
the reason I ask, I can't help myself with this, is Robbie Punchell takes the ball and gets set to bowl his first delivery.
Now I'm fascinated. Here's Punchell first.
So he gets it wrong, wide outside off, short, and umpire says that's one bouncer allowed and is a wide.
Yeah, it's actually
So in the 1770s,
yeah.
This was an English territory, and of course, another English territory, the United States. Well, not United States then, but American colonies.
Never heard of it.
They went into rebellion, and during the course of that, the American Independence War. I'll just hold you on your seat there for a second as Punchell comes in. So short again, looking for that bouncer, and he's going to be no ball.
Is it? No, not called. You got this from
Yeah,
side
there
on.
it
It has to be above the waist.
It's been called.
It's going to be a no ball, not a wide. It's got to be a no ball because it's got to be the second one.
Yeah, it's been signalled.
Well, there's some confusion. I don't know if we've got this one from side on because the square leg umpire signal no ball, and now it's been clarified. Now it is a no ball for above the waist. Pardon me, above the shoulder, second one of the over. Anyway, hold on, you're distracting me from the real task. So, what was going on? I'm aware of the American War of Independence.
American War of Independence,
yeah.
And the French and the Spanish. As Punchell comes in for his first legitimate delivery, and it's short again. This time he's online, and they're asking the question: has he the stumps? But I think he
free hit
something behind. Oh, of course.
So I mean,
free
it's
hit.
not trying to take a run.
Yeah.
And we got this from side on because I reckon that was pretty high as well. It can't be out because he's not running. So
it can't be stumped on.
Tell me the height of this. Is this over the shoulder?
Oh, it gets down low.
Ooh, yeah, I'd like to see it from side on. We've got that one on camera 3. This is where he knows. Well, that's probably why I can't get a good look at it. I reckon that's a no ball because it's at the crease and he's in front of the crease when it passes him. Oh, he's lucky to get away with that punch out.
So this one cutting back in. It's a great delivery, and that will not be a no ball. So
yeah, okay.
Very, very quickly, and why I ask about the cannons.
Don't even make it quick. I want to hear the whole story.
The French and the Spanish decided they would try and take Gibraltar, and they laid it to siege, and it lasted about 2 years.
Yep.
So all around us here where we are, there's Spanish ships, and they were coming so close in that the English found that their cannons, which were shooting up, Punchell comes in, and that one cutting back in to Crom and taking the pads, and he sets off for a leg by. So they found that their cannons, which conventionally pointed up, were always shooting over the Spanish ships.
Yeah.
And so they developed a special type of cannon here on Gibraltar, which the problem is when it's sort of face down, and the problem with that is you load a cannonball and it falls back down.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So
Gravity.
that's developed this way to heat up the cannonball to create pressure to hold the cannonball in that it could shoot down. So
that is fascinating.
There's a special type of Gibraltarian cannon that points down.
I did see a fair bit of that in the military tunnels today that required a lot of innovation, even things like ventilation and stuff from inside. If you're constantly shooting cannons and filling with smoke, it's kind of worked out that the people that operating the machinery had to be able to breathe and stay alive.
Amazing.
Even the way they stored the gunpowder and stuff like that to try and avoid explosions. Very amazing. You think it's 250 years ago.
Good ball from Punchell. This one really cramping Chrome up. And he manages to glance it down to the third man and take a single.
So yeah, so you don't think about it too much in the modern age, do you?
No, you don't. We don't have to think about cannons anymore, which is the nicer thing. So it's over. It's only going for 4. It seems to have taken a while.
do recommend anyone, if you do get the opportunity to visit this part of the world, to really come and check it out. It's quite amazing.
So another great ball from Punjel. So he's got his length and his line right now, and that's the end of the first. He goes 4, and that's the end of the second, excuse me. Punjel goes 4, and after 2 overs, 12 for none.
Yeah, so 5 in total, including a leg bye. Let's have a look at the table, because I know that the Pirates, they're winless, but you can see they've got plenty of talent, and we know that after Tuesday night's matches, we'll know the lineup for the finals on Wednesday. So it'll be a 3 versus 4 playoff for bronze, and then there'll be the final. So I know that the Pirates will be very keen to get on the board here, and they've made a very, very good start. But anyway, I was going to say, after it went up the rock, went down the rock, and just has a little feeling of Little England here. You know, spending pounds.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Had the rugby on this afternoon.
It's like an alternate reality where the Spanish and the English merged
Yeah,
hundreds of years ago. It's like a Rick and Morty
Never
episode.
quite sure what language to speak.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's Mark Garrett.
And really nicely played late. And the third man with a scrambling effort to save more than just a single.
Yeah, so Cromwell want to get going here. He's just trying to turn the strike over at the moment. Reyes has shown that he doesn't mind taking a couple of dots early, or just getting his eye in and then launching. Here he is on strike.
No one's being lifted up. It's straight down the ground, and Bruce coming around, tried to take it with the flight, but it just skipped out of his hands over the rope for 6.
It's a powerful strike. It was a matter of time until Reyes decided enough was enough. Garrett pitches up to him. Very quick to get forward. I thought Louis Bruce didn't have a prayer at this, but he got there really quick. He only had to take a few steps with those long legs. Just off the fingertips. And 6 confirmed now. So maybe that can get the Bavarians going. They just need that. At 11 and over, so they'd want to be 33 at the end of this over. They might not get there, but high 20s they'd probably take now.
Well, they're going to get another chance at that one because it swings outside the terms of limitation, and he's called a wide.
Nice keeping by Ferrari as well. He's a really important player for them.
Yeah, he sure is. Good captain as well. Really rallies his troops. He's got a good mix of players of all different ages and cricketing experience. Here comes Garrett, and that one hit back to him on the bounce.
Well bowled by Mark Garrett. Pulled straight. It's always a good default. But Reyes, I think, especially with no Latin in the lineup, becomes even more important. I mean, Nesta, where will they bat him? Perhaps he takes the number 3 spot now.
Yeah, I think certainly he has to. Well, I would think.
Oh, that run rate required. Still under 2 a ball, but just fractionally.
This one full and pulled away, all the way. In fact, that has gone for a big 6. That's all the way.
It was big. It was, again, borderline on height. Have a look at it. Yeah, could have been called. There's a few of these 50-50 calls that seem to have, against Barrier. Maybe you could argue he's crouching a little bit there, hit it a little bit in front of the line, but I certainly have seen those called before. But still, Reyes whacks it out of the ground, 15 off 7. 2 balls left in this over from Garrett.
Moving away from him, gets big top edge, and it's been beautifully taken down at third man.
Yes, Stephen Gilbert there, who's into the game. And, well, they put him in that position, and he was just waiting for an opportunity to get into the match. So Gilbert gets a huge catch. Reyes has got to go. He just went to the well one too often, didn't he? And he's got to go for only 15. 26 for 1.
I'll tell you what, that was not a ball for pulling, and the edge was certainly a result of a poor shot selection, and that's going to be a big blow for Bavaria. Reyes, we've been saying he would be super crucial in the absence of Ian Latin, but as it is, he's walking back to the shed. And with 1 ball left in the power play, Bavaria are 26 for the loss of that 1 wicket.
It shows you all 11 players on the field have the opportunity to make a difference, and you have Stephen Gilbert there, who it wasn't an easy one coming forward, especially he'd know how big a situation it was, and Reyes being such an important player for Bavaria.
And there would have been a lot of spin on that ball
yeah,
as well.
no, definitely, definitely. And yeah, with the artificial light just starting to take over as well, as the sun's just set over the grandstand at the moment. Nesta comes in at number 3. What's Kenroy got?
Well, he pulls the first one, but sketchily to mid-wicket, and it's had in by Ravi Panchal. He collected and threw in the one action. The throw just going above the stumps.
Yeah, I'm curious that Panchal isn't out at long on where he'd normally field, but yeah, he just went for the early throw, but it wasn't particularly accurate. Certainly would have been out if he hit, but he didn't take his time to really find the target.
So that's the end of the third over. What have we got there?
27 for 1.
27 for 1.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean 6 behind where they need to be, but I think losing Reyes is going to hurt them. Having said that, Costell Sol teammates at the crease now, AJ Crom and Kenroy Nesta, and yeah, they need to put together a partnership here. Crom in particular needs to get a little bit of a move on 4 off 10. He'll know that. Now, at worst, he needs to at least get out the way, get a single, get big KNS up there to do the business. And Nikhil Advani's going to come on with his spin, and yeah, this could be a really important juncture in this match.
Yeah, and Advani tends to pick up a wicket. He can spray the ball a little bit, so he wants to just watch out not to give any or too many sundries, but he's a tricky play to get away.
Yeah, his accuracy's been a feature of his bowling so far, Advani. And here he is, bowling to Kenroy Nesta.
Just turning off the leg and too short. I think it was there for the pull shot. Nesta will be feeling he missed out on that one.
Nesta sometimes just has had a bit of trouble against the slower bowlers as well, just tying himself up in knots against some bowling with the pace taken off.
So this one he again plays across the line but makes connection, drives it along the ground to Ravi Panchal.
Just feel like he's trying to hit it 100 metres plus every time.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of time going into some of these shots. And also I think I'd like to see him, I know there are fielders straight, but maybe taking him on if the ball's in his zone and just playing a high percentage cricket shot rather than trying to drag everything to the leg side. Anyway, let's see how Crom handles the spin of Advani.
Well, he throws this one up and Crom did well to wait on it, but he still hit in the air, but it's not going to carry to Louis Bruce, who runs in from a long on. So they take one more. Nesta back on strike.
Yeah, like now's the time they need to try and just keep going at the rate, because if it creeps out, it's going to put a lot of pressure on them in the second half. So yeah, they want to try and at least pick up one boundary in these next 3 balls, hopefully a couple.
Well, he's not going to get one there, as again beaten by the flight and the dip. Playing all over it. I think you're right, he just seems to want to hit everything towards the leg side, and just putting that big front foot forward, driving through the line could yield different results than that one.
Maybe mentioning he is hard to get away. Certainly is. Had a good series advantage with the ball.
This he's got a piece of, as that has gone all the way for the full value. 6 runs to KNS.
Well, they needed it, didn't they? So there's a bit of K-pop off the bat as finally Kenroy connects. And we had a first half of a match to forget. Can he be the hero with the bat for Bavaria? That was a badly needed 6.
And it shows how far he can hit it. That went about 10, 15 metres over the rope.
Go to Joey Marples, who's calling Advani Pavel Florin in disguise in the chat.
Joey Marples, he's been a star as well in this series. He's that one, he's a full toss, pulled away. It's going to beat the fielder as well. 4 runs.
Well, there's the couple of boundaries they needed, Joe, because they want to be about 44.
You can hear the hiss of the pressure valve releasing on that one.
Yeah, and this one, Advani opens the door, doesn't he, with that full toss. It's right where Kenroy wants it. When bowlers have bowled badly to him, I think he's made a stack of runs, but if you get it right, it's been tied down. 39 for 1 after 4. Just a reminder, you can join us in the chat, just like Joey Marples has. Hello to you, Joe, and need you as well. And if you do have any questions or comments, please let us know. Joey Marples saying the Pirates wins makes things really tight down the bottom, so the Pirates versus Sloggers on Tuesday could be tense. Yeah, I agree with that. It's been a really interesting series. And if you have any other questions, perhaps about European Cricket League as well, and I'd be happy to field those. Just 2 more days as Ataloya takes over number 5. First one down the leg side will be called wide. And really, when you think about Bavaria and their bowling, innings. They just gave away too many wides. You feel like probably 10 or 15 too many. Should be valuable runs at this stage, as this game's on a knife's edge.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that just comes down to Kenner and Nesta not being able to bowl his 2 overs, having to give that job to a couple of players who maybe just didn't quite have the match practice.
Yeah, a couple of players that maybe you would have given 1 over and maybe a second if they bowled well, but they were kind of forced into bowling 2 overs to each of the bowlers, including the 6th bowler.
Underway now, and he does that, but turns. He's hit against the spin, and it's found Ravi Panchal. It's another drop catch, I'm afraid.
He really doesn't drop too many catches, Ravi Panchal. And Crom made up his mind. He said, well, if I'm not hitting this for 6, when am I hitting the 6? So he takes him on. And again, doesn't quite have what it takes to get to the boundary. I think maybe bounced a bit more than he thought.
Well, he's got a piece of this one, but not quite a lot. Well, I thought he hit it better than he did, but as it was, Melvin Farrell, he doesn't he love that, running in from square leg, takes a good catch on the boundary to get rid of Keynes. Another big blow for Bavaria.
Yeah, Keynes leaves the field in unhappiness, and it's Adaloya that gets the big wicket. You see how short he was there, probably just 2 metres short. And Farrell, well, let's just say that he's fired up.
Gave
he
the old
straight at the ground. Had big crowd in tonight as well, Joe. But unfortunately for Nesta, he's got to go for a dozen. Scores 41 for 2.
I like that from Farrell. Gave the old Clayton Oliver finger point to the crowd. Very nice indeed. Keynes, he is a disappointed chap.
Kenroy, I've been told by some of his teammates, can get a bit grumpy. So I think that
you can see they've all shifted over.
I'd be leaving him alone. The social distancing would be important, I'd say at the moment. But you know, the good thing about this format is he's got the opportunity in the second match tonight to come out and have a fresh start. So I certainly hope he makes the most of it. But Adaloya is the man that picks up his wicket.
Yeah, not been a match for Kenroy, that's for sure. Robin Petrie in now. He's facing Adaloya. Big loopy one, and Petrie watches it and decides to let it pass.
Petrie can bat. You know, he came in.
You can tell he's technical.
He's, I don't know if I should say he's their last hope, but certainly their last big hope.
Well, this is therefore he couldn't decide whether to go forward to it or back to it, and in the end he had a slash and lucky not to get the edge. Good length by Adaloya.
He's using the extra bounce in this pitch, artificial surface.
Well, this time he lets it get big on him before he pulls it away, and once again just unable to quite calculate that bounce.
It's a risky one, because if you go down and meet it, you risk getting stumped if you don't get it right. You're early in your innings.
I don't think he's spinning it that much though. So
it's just the bounce. It's just a little bit of overspin, I think, as well.
I think I'd be trying to come down and meet it. That's exactly what Crom thinks about doing, but he did very well to leave a wide ball that's called as such.
He bailed out.
Abort.
All right, last ball of the over coming up. Adaloya's bowled a good one.
Yeah, he comes down to this, and he's got a piece of it. He's got the whole pie, in fact, all the way through the rugby goals. That is a try and a big 6.
Great shot. That's a really gutsy shot by AJ Crom. You have a look at this. He says, look, I've seen what's happening at the other end. These are the same kind of deliveries that we saw Petrie going back to and struggling with the steepling bounce. But, yeah, well done to Crom, who gets his first Maximo, doubles his score. And after 5 overs, the score's 49 for 2. See there, sunset has just occurred, I do believe. Technically it's in 5 minutes, but that's the other side. That's the eastern side. Where you see the water in the background, and
lovely Mediterranean.
It's beautiful, isn't it? But yeah, I had a few questions in the chat, including Niju, who wants to know who the commentators are for the Champions League or the European Cricket League, which starts on Monday. Yes, I'll be there with Rico, so it'd be nice to have Rico back after a bit of a break. We've all had a break, I suppose. And then we'll have a bit of a fan favourite, Corey Rutgers, will be doing the first few weeks, and we'll get Andrew Ryan as well from Switzerland towards the end of the tournament. So yeah, I'm really excited about our commentary team for the ECL this year.
So Sebastian Suarez into the attack now.
Rico just at the ground today, sending me a few pictures. I'll be there tomorrow at beautiful Cardimer Oval in Malaga.
This one short outside off and moving away, and the big swing of the bat yields no result but a dot ball.
I think that's the kind of ball, just looking at this field, there's a backward point, I'd be aiming it over him. I think it's a difficult one, especially for Crom, to just drag that one to the leg side.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's certainly a plan to keep it in that offside channel, isn't there, from the Pirates?
And that's just what he does. Another great delivery. They are looking pretty sharp, the Pirates, tonight.
Same thing here. So he's trying to go fetch it.
Golden
I
dot ball,
think the
that's
percentages would say,
Rock back and
yeah.
lift it over.
It's easier said than
Backward
done, I
point.
have to say. The other thing I would say is the mid wicket's in the circle, so that's another one that's tempting him to go in that area, that unguarded deep mid wicket boundary. Iggy, who said it's looking good down at Cartama. Well, I'll see you soon, Iggy. Thanks for the update. Sure, the ground's looking wonderful. Can't wait to go see it tomorrow.
I love all the excitement building around ECL. I can't wait for that to start. That one's pulled not quite short of a length, but he's got enough. It was top edge, but it was top edge all the way for 6.
Yeah, it just might be a little bit unkind. I think he got a decent amount of bat on this.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just because also it went that square, and Panchal, well, he was sniffing it, wasn't he? You'll get a great view of it here. Panchal on the boundary. And you know, if he had any shot, he was going to do something funky to try and keep it in the field of play, but you know, it was just over him in the end. So important runs, just trying to keep on track here.
So Crum comes down the wicket and doesn't get enough of it, but also luckily doesn't get enough of it because it falls between Louis Bruce and the bowler, and it's a 1 more run.
And you know, Jack Crum could use a bit of luck. He's been knocked over a couple of times early. Okay, in this match he had a fairly slow start with the bat. It was 4 off 10, but you know, he's showing he's willing to take the risks, and a couple have paid off. So I'm happy about that for him.
So this one, Petrie, will he slice that away? There is a man at deep point who gathers it on the bounce. It's Varney out there.
Probably also see Crom wicket keeping in the second match tonight. Bazaglo did a good job in the first half of this match with 3 catches, but he'll be splitting the duties. Anyway, 80. That's 6 overs down, 58 for 2. So yeah, just about 8 behind where they need to be. They've used 6 different bowlers in the first 6 overs. So let's see if someone returns for the 7th. In fact, maybe they won't, because it looks like this is Richie Cunningham that's going to get the ball. So yeah, they're really throwing the ball around with some different bowling options, and that can have the effect of just keeping the batters a little bit unsettled as well, especially if you do have a lot of bowling options. So yeah, it's working out okay so far.
I don't mind this bringing Dick Cunningham on. Once he gets his radar right, he seems to be able to put it consistently in much the same spot, and he also gets through his overs really quick, and that can also put pressure on the batters just to really force them through.
Yeah, I think they want Bavaria to make the pace. So here's Cunningham.
Just doesn't have his radar on yet. So we'll have to bowl that one again.
13 and over required, so you can see that's because they're 8 behind where they need to be. They need to make those up over the next 4 overs.
It's a much better line, and it's hit right in the air and not going to be met with the hands of any fielders as it falls between the Bermuda Triangle of confused and bemused outfielders.
Yeah, I feel like just need one big over here to put them back on even pegging Bavaria.
Well, it comes down to a fuller ball. Gets an inside edge into his pad and forced to retreat. No run added.
And that's been Crom's go-to when it gets above the eye line. He doesn't want to wait and have to deal with the bounce.
That time he plays a deft hand, just lancing it down to then 45 on the offside behind the keeper. So Rico Full, he's down at Cartama.
Rico's there today, checking out the commentary box.
Oh, I can't wait to see that reunion.
Taking all the good equipment.
Taking the best seat. So that is a not too short a ball, but again that bounce allowing him just to.
I'll give you a little heads up. Rico, he's now on Instagram.
Oh, look
He
out.
got bored on the train. So he's at Rico Full on Instagram.
He's got a whole lot of new friends on there now, I'd say.
Yeah, I know, because I was his second follower that he showed us at dinner. I said, well, he hasn't been on workout before. And someone said, should get on TikTok. And I said, hold on. One thing at a time, I think.
Yeah, I think job done. Once Rico Full gets on TikTok, that is a not full ball and also wide outside off.
The biggest reason, even myself, and particularly Rico, and when we're doing the day series, we just don't really have a lot of time that we're not on the microphone to get involved in the social media side of things.
So he's got a big top edge here. It should be caught. Tony Ames coming under it, and he takes his own catch. So his over comes to a close with a wicket. only going for the 5 as well. And that means, folks, after 7 overs, Bavaria are 63 for 3, chasing 110. They are well and truly on the back foot now.
Well, lucky bowler number 7, Cunningham, who comes on and, yeah, just, again, bounced a little bit more, I think, than Crom expected. And it's a return catch for Richie. And nice bit of sportsmanship between them as well. As Cunningham is able to force Crom into a false shot. He goes for 20, and that's 7 overs down, 63 for 3. And now you feel that someone's going to have to step up and pull the big over off if they're going to get anywhere near this target, Bavaria. And this is what we'll see in the second match of the night. Bavaria winning the toss and electing to bowl first. So once again, we'll see the Pirates putting the score on the board. Bavaria will have to chase. And let's see, maybe do they go to Kenroy Nesta opening the bowling again after what happened earlier? There's a lot to unpack there. Ian Latin is back in the lineup though, so that's certainly a big in for Bavaria. That's what I can see on that graphic. And as far as Pirates are concerned, fairly similar lineup. My question would be, where do they bat Louis Bruce? Do they keep him at the top of the order, or do they maybe gamble with a Hatchman or Ataloya or something up there? Anyway, here's over number 8, and it's Suarez returning.
Oh, good ball as well that takes the under edge of the bat, bounces over the stumps. Luckily for Robin Petrie, he survives, but a dot ball. And it's Richard Bazuglo who's come out as we have a look at this from side on.
He almost stumped himself because it bounces off the keeper, Ferrari, into the stumps, but the back foot was always home.
So I can confirm for the viewers that Richard Bazuglo and Richard Cunningham are not the same person. That one is lifted up off a length, and it's going to be caught here by Louis Bruce, who's getting under it. And good, safe hands by the youngster. Fingers up in the air, welcoming the ball into his mitts with grace and glee. Another wicket falls.
Oh, he just looks so settled under those high balls, doesn't he, yeah. Louis Bruce? You'd think someone 16 years of age, the pressure might get to you in these situations, but there's a reason he's been there. And he just had to track back a little bit. It's not always easy judging the ball at this time of twilight, but he takes a good catch, and very in some serious trouble now as wicket is taken by Suarez. Petrie goes for 5 off 9. He's 63 for 4.
Yeah, Mark Garrett, Melbourne Farrell coming out now to bat. He took a great catch in the outfield. He'll need to play a role for his team here as they are falling ever so further behind.
Grace in the chat saying, "Shiver me timbers, another good catch." And there's a fair few skull and crossbones emojis. I'm loving that. Yeah. Grace, hope you're enjoying the night so far. Suarez, he's enjoying himself.
We certainly hope you are. Grace.
Just no one gave him the ball back. So he's saying,
well, he's a pirate. He has to go get it himself.
He had to go find the treasure. So Farrell, what can he do?
He comes forward to this one and plays a rather elegant and gentle cover drive, getting himself off the mark with a single. Yeah, this is, well, let's see how this eventuates, but it is looking very good for the Pirates. As you can see there, they were 87 for 3, so in a far better position at this stage of their innings. And if they can pull off this result, certainly will rattle the rest of the competition. This time Bazuglo just waits on it a bit and pokes it out square of the wicket for one of his own. Very casually walking his run, saving all the energy he can. He was pretty active behind the stumps earlier.
Yeah, he's got a lot of energy, doesn't he? I do like the look-alike call between him and Cunningham.
Well, this time veering down leg, and
I say from side on because I wondered if there was a little micro stumping chance here. I think his foot was always home, but it was quick work by Ferrari to go at least lock it down leg side. Just have a look at this way. Almost, yeah, see, he crosses his feet over. Just a tiny chance.
Yeah, it's the slightest of all chances. Suarez comes in and looking for an uppish drive. Got confused with playing a cut shot at the same time, so as it is, it sails past the bat into the keeper's gloves for no run.
Yeah, so you just wonder where these boundaries are going to come from now. They seem a long way behind. I think they're going to brew those extras.
Well, that's right, they would be within distance had they not bowled all those extras. As it is, though, going to have to console themselves with another single out to mid-wicket. As that over comes to a close, so Suarez after his 2, he's got 1 for 13. After 8, Bavaria 67 for a loss of 6
for 4.
For
Yes,
4.
I mean you gotta say that's flatlined as the wickets have fallen over the last 3 or 4 overs, but you can see how much they miss Latin, I think, in their batting lineup, just
Yeah.
what he provides. So I'm sure they'll welcome him back and might see a bit more of an even contest in the next match. Oh, Richie Cunningham is going to get a second over, and why not?
Look, there they are together. They're not the same person.
Someone saying we got twins. Here we go, over number 9.
Well, he's right in the hitting zone, and it has been right over the fence, through the rugby goals, 6 runs.
Yeah, nice shot. They needed something to go their way. Does that spark something for Bavaria as they move up to the 70s in style? But they need to have a huge over. Well, they basically need 2 magical overs to win the game. But perfect start as Cunningham goes the journey.
He's got another approach now, Cunningham, and Farrell tries to go again, just gets the top edge, lucky not to be caught by Stephen Gilbert, who's roaming down there, already taken a pretty good catch coming in from that short, wide third man. So Cunningham now is going to come around the wicket. So here we go. Uncle Fester bowling to Uncle Fester. 2 stalwarts of Gibraltarian cricket, these 2. And they can both be thanked a lot for this event taking place with such ease and grace. So that one, well, Pizzaglo goes for a wander over to the offside and manages to slap a fuller one. Down to Ravi Panchal at square leg for a single.
So it's just getting from bad to worse now for Bavaria. It's the lights take over.
Fuller one, it's been pulled away, but Punchal's out there roaming around, preventing any more than the one. Yeah, this is going to be a very big ask indeed if they're to pull it off. 34 runs off 8 balls. They need, well, it's pretty obvious, just 6s. And that's what Pizzaglo's going for as he goes and almost walks off the pitch.
He's off the pitch now.
Yeah.
I want to see what the bat versus ball is for the next game. See if the predictor is still going for Bavaria. I mean, Latin is a big in for them. Last ball of the ninth coming up.
And this one fully went for a walk, but he decided to readjust his line and met the ball with the full face of the bat, hitting it behind square for 4 runs. That's what they need.
This time it works. So I think he's in trouble if he misses this, but he doesn't miss. So in the battle of the Baldies, it's Pizzaglo who has the last laugh, but I think Cunningham would be pretty happy with his 2 overs, 1 for 18. After 9 overs, it's 80 for 4.
Yeah, we can see. So I think Louis Bruce got 1 over left, and he should be the one to bowl this.
Yeah. I mean, they can pretty much bowl whoever they like now. You can imagine with 30 required, so they need a supersonic finish. If they do pull it off somehow, Bavaria, it'll be a record off the last over. The previous, or the current, I should say, record runs off the last over is 23 to win.
It's going to be Advani. Yes, using the full spread of their team in the bowling efforts. Only Suarez has bowled 2 overs, and Cunningham, of course. And the rest being split between the other 5.
Yeah, it's been nice, I think, to
Yeah.
use a bunch of options and really nobody's got hurt. Garrett went for a couple of 6s, but also picked up a wicket in the 3rd. He's been the most expensive so far. 10th overtime.
Right, he's going for the big hoik, but just got a little under edge behind him, and some nifty quick work by Kieran Ferrari, excuse me.
Karen Farrell is kind
Karen
of a
Farrell.
strange hybrid of the keeper and the
Melbourne, and yeah, it's all happening. Once again, well, this time it was Ian Farrell having a big swing at it, leaving it to Kieran Ferrari. So, Kieran Ferrari.
Should mention also,
He's got to stop.
It's Ian Melvin Farrell.
Yeah.
I think he likes to go by Melvin.
Mel Farrell, of course. He comes down and meets a fuller one on the leg side. That's saved pretty well. Backward square leg there.
Yeah, it was a really nice piece of fielding, wasn't it?
Stevenson.
James Stevenson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit of a cult hero as well.
Why wouldn't you be with a haircut like that?
Why not? Shooting in front of the grandstand. Getting a bit of attention, I'm sure, from the supporters. Bizarre glow.
Yeah, so it's something that Sam was saying last night is that you can hear everyone really loudly out on the pitch.
Is that right?
So I'm sure as this Saturday night progresses, the crowd will progress
Get one here.
in kind.
I think we'll get a decent crowd in. I suppose they had rugby on this afternoon. Rugby was played here.
Yeah, junior rugby.
Yeah, and senior as well, I think. And then in the functions area, there was a test match on Six Nations at the moment. So just a couple of balls left in this one. Pirates going to notch up their first win in ECN cricket.
Yeah, but not before this ball is lifted with one bounce over the rope for 4 at mid-wicket. So Farrell gets a consolation boundary.
Yeah, gets a fair bit of this. And just takes on a straight ball. And he hits it nicely.
See, I wouldn't mind seeing him come up the order a little bit. Of course, they will get Latin back.
That's a big in. But they're going to have to chase again. They're just fallen off the pace. But can't really criticise Bavaria's chasing too much. Remember, they were the team that chased 127 down successfully against the Sloggers on night 3. Anyway, here's the last ball of match number 13.
And it's fallen. He's come down to meet it, slapping it away to Ravi Panchal mid-wicket. And that is the end of the match, folks. And it is the Pirates, the come-away victors. They went searching for treasure, and they found it here, winning by 23 runs.
They did it easily in the end, didn't they? But, you know, congratulations to the Pirates. It's their first win in ECN cricket. I know that their supporters are really, really happy. Commiserations to Bavaria, who couldn't get it done in this game, but they do have the opportunity to try and square things up in the second half of the doubleheader, which will be coming your way in approximately 25 minutes. But in the end, just key wickets taken by the Pirates, but also Bavaria going to rue the amount of extras I think they bowled in that first innings. They ended up 87 in this one. They go down by 22 runs. And going back, you saw that Reyes made a good start, and he had a bit of a life there as Bruce dropped him over the boundary. And you thought, as usual, if Reyes stuck around for a decent chunk of time, that Bavaria were going to probably get there in this chase. So he had a big target on his back.
Yeah, he sure did, and that target was hit eventually as he ended up skying one, and Stephen Gilbert running in from third man took an absolute blinder of a catch. He absolutely loved it, so too did his teammates. His captain giving the elbow tapping pandemic celebration as K&S come out trying to atone for a pretty average night out in the field. He bowled 2 no balls and had to be taken off and dropped a catch, and he had to come out and try to hit some big runs quickly. He did manage to find the fence on a few occasions, working his way to 12 off 7 with some nice big shots, but in the end of the day he went 1 too many and was taken really nicely by Mark Garrett out there.
He was loving it, wasn't he? And why not? That's a lawyer. Got the big wicket. And then Crum, he started firing, didn't he? And he bravely was taking on some of the slower bowling, dancing down the pitch to get to the pitch. And that was another good one by Crum. And ultimately, his innings would not last long enough for Bavaria to get within sight of the target. And this one, he just mistimed. It was a simple caught and bowled for Richard Cunningham, who bowled really well in his 2 overs, I thought. It's always a bit of a gamble, I think, bowlers like Cunningham, but certainly I think given the situation, they knew they had to go after him. And just one mistake as a batter in this form of the game, and you're on your way.
Yeah, that's right. That's the nature of cricket, and a man who's enjoying his cricket, this youngster, Louis Bruce, he took a good catch out there of Cunningham, who, despite being a little bit wayward and getting a little bit of treatment, there was still some defiance by Bazaglo. He was trying to get creative, and he managed to paint a wonderful picture at times, but at the end of the day, it all became a bit too much as Advani came on to bowl the final over, and Mel Farrell, despite his best efforts, he ended up not being able to chase that down. And so that is it. 22-run victory to the Pirates. They notched their first victory in this series up on the board. 22-run victory, and the Sundries
Yeah.
in the Bavaria innings 20.
Yeah, you could argue there were probably a few too many in the second innings as well, but still there were only 10 wides and a no ball compared to how many we saw in the first innings.
16,
Just no one able to really take this innings by the horns, as Crom was the top scorer with 20, but he did use 21 balls. Just as he was getting going, he found himself back in the pavilion. Reyes, again, they needed more out of him. 15 for him, a dozen for Nesta. Again, got out at a key time. I like the work at the end from Farrell, who I thought batted well for 16 off 11, but along with Bazzagalo, just not able to get there. And look, 7 bowlers were used in this innings. That was a real strength of the Pirates as well, as they threw the ball around, and they all did reasonably well. Garrett was the most expensive, but still picked up a wicket. Also wickets for Ataloya, as well as Cunningham and Suarez. So, you know, a real team effort from the Pirates. I think they'll take a lot of confidence out of that performance.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to share the love and spread the tasks and the responsibilities, very good by them.
Nikhil Advani got the man of the match, I just saw, for his work. So, yeah, congratulations to the Pirates. And, I guess, Joe, we're going to have a quick break, but we'll be back with more cricket very shortly, won't we?
That's right. We will be back after this short break here at the Europa Sports Complex for Game 14.
That's
Until
it.
then, ciao for now.
See you soon. Good evening to you wherever you're watching from around the world, and welcome back to Gibraltar on a Saturday evening. Well, Saturday night we got a cricket fight, and it's going to be a rematch between these two teams. Pirates, fresh off their first win in ECN cricket, taking on Bavaria. In that previous match, it was the Pirates who batted first and ended up winning by 22 runs, 109 to 87. This time, Bavaria, they have sent in the Pirates once again, so they'll have to chase once again. They'll be hoping to do it a bit more successfully than last time. If Bavaria can win this match, they'll square this mini-series at one match apiece. They have a big in their captain, Ian Lattin, who comes back into the lineup. Sure, he'll bat in his customary number 3 position as well. As for the Pirates, well, they have stuck with Louis Bruce at the top of the order. He's out there with his captain, Kieran Ferrari. And it looks like it will be Petrie to open the bowling in this one. Great to have your company. Vinny Sandu here, Mr. Maximo for the European Cricket Network, as we get ready for this match 14. Can the Pirates make it 2 for 2? There's Petrie, who's come late into this series, but he certainly does seem like a decent cricketer for Bavaria. He's a man that I know can do it with the bat and the ball. Recently turned 25. And so he's going to get things started. So they're not opening with Kenroy Nesta, who in the corresponding fixture at the start of the evening was no-balled after 2 deliveries, went above the waist of the batter on the full before he even had a legal delivery. So looks like we're ready to go. Good to see Bruce getting another opportunity. I wondered whether they'd stick with him at the top of the order. They have. I suppose after a win, why change anything? Here we go with the first ball of match 14. Oh, this one really takes off from Petrie. It will be called a wide. And interestingly, I thought maybe we'd see Crom with the gloves, but it is Richard Bazuglo that holds on to them. Crom playing as a fielder and perhaps an opener. I guess we'll have to see. We did see him opening the batting and scoring 20 in the first match of the evening. Good delivery. Beats the youngster. Bruce, only 16 years of age. It's been a real initiation. Hasn't found it as easy with the bat as he has with the ball in the field. Thrown in the deep end at the top of the order, where you are going to have to deal with a new ball. You're going to have to deal with some of the better bowling options of the opposition. I'm sure this series will be a fantastic experience for the young man, who pulls away. Well, he has to hustle, but he does. And Grimes, who's into the side for Bavaria, is at the wicket. Just fumbles that one. If you just joined us in this Gibraltar series, it's a fantastic new complex, this Europa Sports Complex. It's completely artificial grass. And a lot of the sports, well, almost all of the sports grounds are artificial in Gibraltar. And I was asking today, what's behind that? I was up the Rock of Gibraltar looking at a lot of artificial football fields, and I think it comes down to the fact that given the population density, in fact it's the 5th most densely populated nation in the world, I think their thinking is that it'll be used so much that the ground is very difficult to maintain. So when you think that a rugby match was played on this surface earlier today, that really would make things difficult for the cricketers, and probably vice versa. As Ferrari gets his first ball, he just pushes to Reyes at mid-on, who does the fielding. So I think it's a smart option. Obviously a lot less maintenance required. There's a bit more investment up front with the artificial turf, but you've got to say that it looks pretty as a picture. And the artificial turf is a bit more like what you'd see perhaps at artificial stadiums for baseball in the US, for example. Nice shot by Bruce, who just turns this away and times it behind square for the first boundary of this one. And you can see the class in the young man. And this is nice. He didn't try to overhit this. He's been in trouble a couple of times getting across too far, and he certainly opens himself up to an LBW decision, but that time it was more or less off the middle of the bat, and that will do the young man's confidence the world of good. Pirates move up to 7. Yeah, so that's what's behind the artificial turf in Gibraltar. And yeah, pop down today from Malaga, which is around about an hour and 20 minutes north of here, up in the south of Spain. Bruce, standing pull shot, doesn't really get hold of it, going nowhere fast. Yeah, so Even the ECN crew that are here every night, they're staying in La Línea de la Concepción, which is just north of the border. Every day come in and out of the country. It's quite an unusual situation for us here at ECN, but everyone's been loving this part of the world. Good outswinger. And that one's going to sneak inside for a dot. And that's the last ball of the over. Pirates, they do get 7. 7 for no loss after 1. But you have to say it's a pretty good start from Petrie. And Ferrari will be back on strike. Bruce did get a boundary off that over. Not a lot else happening. One thing that's for sure, Bavaria, they were talking about how to bowl less extras. They know that the extras cost them a lot in the previous match. And they were certainly keen to get that back under control. And in that first match, they gave some 20 runs away in extras, including 16 wides and 3 no balls and a bye. The bye came off one of those high no balls. Here's Kenroy, speak of the devil, over number 2. This is good delivery, so the big man's warmed up now. I'm not sure what this took, perhaps just a little bit of the bat, shoulder of the bat on the way through for Ferrari. Kenroy Nesta has played some cricket in Costa del Sol, as have many of the players involved in this series. Of course, no organised cricket played in Gibraltar for 5 years, which has forced a lot of players across the border into competitions in southern Spain. Goes for this, but he hasn't quite got it. It's hanging in the air a long time. Chase will be on, but they're not going to catch it. And Bruce gets another boundary. You notice there was no one back at deep mid-wicket, so he takes it on once again. Gets in a good position, opens up the leg side. And Reyes, you probably won't see at the 100 metres at the Olympics, but still 100% effort from the opener. Next one is missed by Bruce. There certainly does seem to be a conscious mindset shift from Bruce to play a few more shots here from the get-go. Played a bit of a supporting role in that opening partnership of 48 back in match 13. But now finds himself in the hot seat to Keynes. And he tries to pull here, but he hasn't got this. This will be a simple catch for Bazaglo. And that is the first wicket. So Keynes changes as good as the holiday. And in the second match tonight, he's having a lot more success with the ball. Did go for a boundary, but picks up Louis Bruce, who doesn't like 9 tonight. That's the second time he's been out on that score. Keynes thought for a second maybe he was the man to catch that, but it was certainly the keeper's catch. And Bazaglo takes his 4th catch of the evening. And the Pirates lose their first wicket, 12 for 1. So Bruce getting some warm applause from his team regardless. I think that's the way you've got to approach this game. He's playing his shots, and well, that one didn't come off. But the thing is, the difference between this 9 and the 9 earlier is this time he only faced 8 balls. Earlier he faced 9, he faced 13. That doesn't sound like a big difference, but you just think that's almost a whole over that the rest of the team do have to score runs off. So I'm sure Bruce will be disappointed not to crack double figures twice in the night, but he's still a very important contributor for the Pirates. As Ravi Panchal comes out at number 3 to face Nesta. This one misses, this first one play and miss. And yeah, these two would have had some tussles in the Spanish domestic competition. Nesta for Costa del Sol and Ravi Panchal for La Manga Torrevieja. Ravi Panchal's a man we also saw playing for Spain in the European Cricket Championship back in September and October 2021. Short, and Panchal's been good against the short ball tonight. As he doesn't try and overhit this, he just turns on it, makes good contact. Ravi's away. And 2 boundaries in that over in the end. 2 overs down at 16 for 1. Controlled that shot nicely, Ravi Panchal, who hit 2 crisp pull shots in the first match tonight. On the way to 22 off 11 balls, but he'll be hoping to face a few more balls than that here in match 2. As 2 overs down, gives a chance to look at the table, and the Pirates fans, they'll be happy. they now have their first win. So every team has a win, every team has a loss. After Turek went down in the Golden Ball last night, and the Pirates actually slightly ahead of Sloggers on net run rate. That does put them in the 4. Gets a bit of pop, but it will be a wide. Petrie coming in to bowl out. So we'll keep an eye on that table. Remember that after Tuesday night, after match 20, the top 2 teams will automatically qualify for the final. The 3rd and 4th teams will play for bronze. Punchal elevated to 3 today. Ferrari hits this one nicely, but straight to cover. Adebayo Ataloye, former Nigerian international, listed at 4, Hatchman at 5. So it's a batting lineup that I feel that it is carried to an extent by Ferrari, but they do have a decent top 5 or 6 that can all find the boundary. Good delivery from Petrie. He's got it spot on now. This one beats Ferrari, all ends up, but he is the big wicket, isn't he? For the Pirates. And you can see Bavaria very keen to remove him as soon as possible. Very warm welcome to you, no matter where you're watching around the world. Just a reminder, you can join us on the live chat, ECN European Cricket Network. We have so many people from all corners of the globe enjoying ECN. It's the full toss, and it's going to be put away easily. It's about thigh high for Ferrari. And presses the ignition button, and he's off. Petrie, not his best effort. He's fortunate, did stay marginally below the waist. But Ferrari did help himself to his first boundary of this one. Up to 21 for 1 now. Halfway through this over, the 3rd. Last of the power play. Latin back in the lineup. Although he did miss out with the bat the other night. He does look very, very good, Latin, when he gets going, but we know that just like everyone else, he's prone to making the odd mistake, which is just natural in this form of the game. This one blocked back. Some respect from Ferrari. But you do feel if these two can bat another 5 or 6 overs that they are going to be able to score at a decent clip. That run rate at the moment just dipping below 8. Ferrari will take this, and he's going to get a gift, and it's going to be 5 wides. Well, that's certainly something that plagued Bavaria in the first game tonight. And Bazaglo couldn't quite make the play on this. It was down leg side, and it just kept going even further. Quick skip step. He'll be disappointed, and he couldn't quite get there. He's probably just 1 glove length away. But the result is 5 free runs for the Pirates. Pirates' bounty of extras being conceded tonight by Bavaria. Nice looking drive. Doesn't take on Nesta, so it's a dot. 1 more ball left in this power play, which I feel is probably even Stevens if Ferrari survives it. About 9s. Probably slight honours to Bavaria. Chipped away nicely. Reyes has to make a lot of ground to his right, but he does well. Then an awkward bounce off the side of the pitch, but it will just be a single. Ferrari, the captain, retains the strike. He moves to 7, and at the end of the power play, the Pirates are 27 for 1. Hope you are having a wonderful day and enjoying our telecast. Vinny Sandu here, Mr. Maximo, back in Gibraltar for a Saturday night, and joining me is our night series specialist, Joe Wigasani. And Joe, one thing's for sure, Bavaria, they won't want to lose this game again. That big in as well with the captain Ian Latin coming back into the lineup, and I think at the moment almost honours even in the power play. What do you think? Yeah,
really interesting battle going on here, Vinny, and certainly Ian Latin coming back in. They will, well, you can already see their heads are up and about with their usual skipper out there on the field, mustering his charges, taking that important fielding position, first in the cover and now long on. And yeah, interesting to see where this will go. The Pirates are going at much the same rate they were in the first match, around about 10 runs and over, a little bit under.
Yeah, I mean, they've still got Ferrari at the crease, which I think that gives them a lot of potential to fire through these middle overs. I know you're a big fan of the middle overs.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I think they're the crucial overs, to be honest. I think 5, 6 and 7, they're the overs where the games are won and lost.
Well, this is smashed away square of the wicket, and Reyes gets a welcome from Ferrari, who is strong in this area, but still, it wasn't quite the right area, was it? It was a little bit too full. When I say a little bit, I mean a lot. That's going to be an easy 4 runs for the opener.
Yeah, he's Reyes. When he comes in, he can tend to just have a few looseners.
I think that was a legal delivery. So, well, maybe not. It's been called a no ball. Probably a fair call, to be honest. It's one of those ones around the hip. So, we will see Reyes having to deal with the free hit. Now, this has gone miles in the air. It'll be a simple catch. Well, half a chance to run out. Doesn't have to catch it. And let's just say, if that was a legal delivery, then Reyes would have had some egg on his face. But as it was, it's just a single.
I think he realised about halfway through that he didn't have to risk the cold hands, meaning cold leather. Well, maybe I won't go for that.
And taps it away. So in the end, yeah, it's just a high single. Patchell on strike. Gets the ball. It's up in the block hole. Can only get it back to Reyes. Yeah, Reyes, not express, but he will just try and put the ball in an area that's difficult for the batter to get hold of. A little bit inconsistent so far this over. Oh, this could be out. It's gone. What a really good bit of work from Bazaglo behind the stumps. And that is a big wicket. As you'll see, that Reyes just beats the bat here, and Punchell's going to have to go for only 4, and it's because of a smart bit of work from behind the stumps. Bazaglo coming up with the stumping.
Yeah, he is so tidy here. Have a look at this quick bit of work. That heel just elevated above the crease, and quick as you like, whips up the bails. And isn't he excited? Bazaglo, he's been great tonight.
Yeah, he really has. And you got to hand it to the umpires as well. They've been excellent in this series. And umpire very quick to spot at square leg that Punchell's heel was in the air. So just like that, Punchell's got to go. Second wicket down, 33 for 2. And this brings out Adeteo Ataloye.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting move bringing Punchell at 3. Still a pretty smart move, I feel, especially the way he cracked that pull shot.
Yeah, he was good to short balls tonight, but we just disappointed. Especially, look, no real reason to be creeping out of your crease there, to be honest. It wasn't like he was on the charge, but he was just beaten and just couldn't keep the foot at home. So Reyes gets the last laugh. And Bavaria, they will be really disappointed to have dropped the first game, especially because they're right in the middle of the pack. Anything's possible. Now we've seen, Joe was mentioning earlier, every team has a win and every team has a loss. Let's decide their name now at the table.
We love to see that, don't we, Vinny?
Perfectly pitched, actually. Hey, Reyes, that's just snuck inside the wide line.
Beautiful.
You're always gambling with the wide line there. If you lose, it's going to cost you a run. You'll have to bowl it again. But if you can sneak it inside, often do get a dot. Let's see, Ataloye leaving too many. Slightly different approach, giving himself a chance to look at a couple.
Yeah, it was a pretty good leave in the end. Might have been a druggable ball, but we've seen Ataloye. He does prefer the leg side.
3 men back on the leg side. One of them will do the work. As that is Ian Latin, who is back and leading the side here in match number 14. He's another element to the bowling lineup as well with his leg spin. We might see him after this over. I guess we're about to find out as Reyes finishes with 8 runs coming off that over, and the score is 34 for 2. 7 runs off that over. And this is a chance to look at the bat versus ball wall. Bavaria, once again, they're predicted to get 107. And Pirates 95. So you can see the Pirates, they'll have a win against their name next time you see that, because they had 4 losses, but Of course, that graphic gets done before the completion of the last game. So Bavaria trying to snap a 3-game losing streak, and it is Latin to start new over. His first one's right on the money. And he's just an awkward customer with his leg spin when he gets it right, isn't he, Ian Latin?
Yeah, he sure is. Has a nice compact approach. And he's not a tall man, so it does come in sort of low and flat.
Lawyer tries to get inventive. Not able to get any bat on this one.
Both ways, Ian.
Well outside the line. It's tossed up. Ataloya goes back. That's the kind of ball that you can either make a really positive move to try and get it on the floor on the half volley, or you can go back. And we've seen batters try both those approaches tonight. This time Ataloya just goes back and punches for one.
Yeah, well, he knows there's a big gap there. There is a man at backward point, but he's in.
This will be a good contest. Captain to captain. Ian Latin to Kieran Ferrari. Quicker ball by Ferrari. He just turns it away for one. And Latin does have that slippery cricket ball, doesn't he, that he uses maybe once or twice and over. Not afraid to vary the pace. We've seen his stock ball as well as the quick one, and also even a slower one this over.
Yeah, nice little bits of variation from the Bavaria skipper.
Well, this is high.
Oh,
I think this might be a no ball. I know he's out of his crease, but I think that isn't coming down. We'll wait and see. Yeah, no ball called. So it wouldn't have been out even if it was caught. Might see this one from side on as well if possible. You see, yeah, I mean, that's so high. That's chest high. And even it's judged at the crease. To be honest, he never really got that far out of the crease anyway. So it will be a free hit coming up. That's what happens sometimes. You just try too hard on that quicker ball. You're changing the dynamics of your bowling action. You can just lose a bit of that control. So he decides to switch hit on the free hit. Well, 10 points for style, but probably 1 point for result, as it's just a single off the free hit.
look, it was a pretty good option because the deep point is really square. And if he could have just got it a little bit more behind square there, he would have picked up a boundary. I don't think it was too bad a choice, just couldn't quite connect with the timing required.
Oh, this is great keeping by Bazaglo, who
Did well.
risks his shiny skull
Did
on
well
that
to
one.
keep his
He's just having a bit of a laugh, I think. I think it's a laugh. As they keep your eye on the ball, but that's one where you just got to try and block the angle however you can.
Stopped it with his
So, yeah,
armpit.
must have been over the stumps, so it's not a wide. And at the end of that over, Latin ends up going for 5. The score's 39 for 2, 5 overs into this innings.
Yeah, and they've done a really great job in the last couple of overs just to hinder the advancement of the Pirates. Try to keep them off the shore as they've really calmed things down. A couple of wickets and a few tight overs.
Reyes,
Bavaria right on top.
exactly right. Reyes comes back to bowl over number 6, and bowl out. Shot by Ferrari, who hits this well, and it's going to beat Boat up at deep square leg. And this is just pure timing. And basically a stand-up sweep from the Pirates opener off Reyes. He kind of fake charges and then says, actually, that's where I'm going. That's just not an attempt to upset the length of Reyes. I don't know if it had any effect, but I can tell you, that shot, if you're going to hit it, you need to hit it well, and that's exactly what Ferrari did there.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few LBWs in this series to players trying to sweep across at that length and just getting wrapped on the pads. So he did well to connect to it, certainly.
Force the field change, not so much in position, but personnel, as Samath Bodak comes into the circle, and Ryan Grimes goes back to that position at deep forward square. Come back ball from Reyes. Oh, it's a full toss. This should go, and it does. So it's not a good ball from Reyes. He has just strayed a couple of times. In fact, it's been a problem that's plagued Bavaria throughout the night. Just too many full tosses. Some of them have been legal, some haven't, but a lot of them have disappeared to the boundary or over.
Yeah, it's an absolute killer, isn't it? The sundries. And of course, after that last result where they let 20 of them go, it will be in their heads. I think I heard you mentioning that they were discussing it between matches, and that can do all the good, but it can also just keep it as a present topic in their minds.
Little dab, late cut that time from Ferrari. Just be one. And he's accelerated over the last couple of minutes. Ataloya, he's the one that needs to get going though. He's 3 off 8. I feel like if he gets out now, it's going to be a waste of deliveries, but maybe he can put the foot down a bit like Ferrari did after a slightly conservative start.
He's also left 2 of them.
Good observation, Joe. It's a full task, but all he can do is punch it to cover. Just a single. Still, that's not too bad at this stage. It does get the captain back on strike.
Yeah, for me, Ferrari's the man. He's been the one holding it together for the Pirates at the top of the order, and he'll really want to go on here. He's in fine position to, I don't want to curse him, but reach out for a 50.
Nice looking shot from Ferrari. Seeing him well at the moment. Does the fielding, just a single. And also brings up the 50 from the Pirates in the 6th over. So now you've got to say it's got to be go time for them, doesn't it? They do have 8 wickets in hand. Now Lawyer, I don't think he'll be hanging around much longer. He'll want to go for his shots. Last ball of the 6th over coming up. Well bowled from Reyes. It's in that awkward zone. Got that Lawyer playing away from his body, so it's just a single as Reyes, well, his overs go for 7 and 12 tonight, so not too bad in the context of things. He also picked up a wicket of Ravi Panchal, I should say, stumped by Richard Bazuglo. And after 6 overs, it's 51 for 2.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting now to see what they do, whether they use Christian Lowe or John Matthews.
That's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
They haven't used a 5th bowler yet. This would be the time you'd think would come in, and
it's going to be Botter.
Yeah, Botter makes sense.
Yeah.
Botter bowled really well. I mean, he bowled the 10th over earlier, and it only went for 1. And he included a wicket as well. That was the last over. That just meant that they only had to chase
and
109.
He's the kind of bowler to really trouble Adelaide, who likes to play it across to the onside.
Yeah, he'll attack the stumps, won't he?
Yeah.
Sammy Botter. Here he is, over number 7. Edge gets a bit lucky here. Does Ataloya? I think they'll be happy with just 1 there. Oh, Ataloya wants it. Ferrari has news for him. Go back there because I'm staying right here. I think Ferrari, he's going to take charge of this and say he wants to strike and he wants to do something with it.
Yeah, he's parked the car.
Yeah, Ferrari wouldn't start. he was quite happy where he was, but let's see if he can do something with it. Good contest. He goes high in the air, and that's Reyes who is going to hold on to the catch.
Good catching.
Yeah, it was a really awkward one for Reyes in the artificial light. It hung up there a long time, so the gamble for Ferrari to turn down the 2nd run doesn't pay off, and Botter is the man that's able to remove him. Botter has a few big fish in this series. See, Ferrari knew it was time to get on with it, but he'll go no further. He's out for 24, and the score is 52 for 3.
Yeah, that's just that lovely in swing that Botter reproduces with a really nice seam position, just cutting back a little bit and extracting that leading edge. Disappointing there for Ferrari, who suffers the commentator's curse. Just as I said, he was looking very set and looking to go on.
Good chance to give a shout out to the umpires, Jeremy Perez and Andrew Elliott out in the field in this one, and Sunil Chandramani, third umpire duties. And all the umpires have done a fantastic job, I have to say, in this series so far. Well, here comes Big Rick. Richard Hatchman is the man who comes in. Yeah. Really an ideal time for him.
I think Joey Marples agrees with you in the chat. Pirates need a Rick Hatchman pinch hit special here.
Yeah, he does hit a long ball, but he's the definition of hit and miss at the moment, Rick. Well, he wants this one, but he's mishit it. It's going to fall safely. A bit of behind the back work from Petrie. I don't know if we got this fielding again. This is something Harlem Globetrotter style, but he does make the stop. Oh, look at this. If that had gone straight to Reyes for a run out, direct hit run out, that would have been an all-time highlight.
Greatest thing ever. Yep.
Yeah, well, Rick gets a bit of luck there. That really could have fallen into the hands of a fielder or the path of a fielder, but
he has to do it.
Yeah, he got away with it. Especially you look, they still haven't quite cracked 8 with that run rate.
Yeah, and as a lawyer here, 6 off 11, he really needs to go hard or go home, one feels.
Just discussing field positions at the moment. Gonna send Nesta across to cover. I've only got 4 out at the moment. I know that's 5 now.
There's the deep points coming in, so I think it might stay at 4.
Overall, that stays pretty much the same. They've got 4 fielders on the leg side, on the boundary, plus a fine leg in the circle. Yeah, he's gone here.
Yes.
No hesitation from the umpire.
Botta.
Yeah, Botta does it again. And you actually called it, Joe. You said it's a pretty good matchup for Bavaria because he's the kind of bowler that will trouble at the lawyer. Botta just with that little angle in. Let's have a look at this one on the replay. At the lawyer. Yeah, I mean, it's touch and go, but I can understand why the umpire thinks that's going on to hit the stumps. It does hit him in line.
On the back foot.
Yeah, on the back leg as well. So, back the umpire's decision there. Umpire's call. Adelaya's got to go. Is the 4th wicket to fall? 53 for 4.
Yeah, that means it looks like it is Stephen Gilbert coming out.
Yep, looks like it is.
Took a great catch earlier, and certainly was that Mark Garrett.
Well, Mark Garrett is the batter, actually. Exactly right, but Botta, he's just continues to impress, doesn't he? 19 years old this week. And yeah, I think Hatchman's the man though for me. 3 overs. He needs to try and lift them to something competitive here. Remember, Bavaria do have Ian Latin in the lineup. Probably bat at number 3. This one goes straight through everybody, including Bazaglo, who was beaten by the movement. I think this will be a bye. And Garrett, lucky to survive. He doesn't get off the mark at the end of 7 overs. It is 54 for 4. What an over from Botta. His figures are 2 for 2 after that over, although he does concede 3, including that bye. Just a reminder that we have so much cricket coming your way on ECN this year. Of course, these FanCode European Cricket T10 night tournaments have been something a bit different, which everyone's enjoying. The coming Monday, we have the first day of the 2nd ever European Cricket League, brought to you by Bet2Ball and Keeper Inu. And it starts with 5 matches, as there are every day, Monday to Thursday, and then 4 on Finals Friday on every one of the weeks. Starting with Group A, and some interesting clashes there. Tunbridge Wells from England against Svanholm from Denmark, and then ACT from Austria against Star CC from Luxembourg. Also get to see the Helsinki Titans from Finland and Dreux, who are returning after their appearance in ECL 19. They come back in ECL 22. Of course, weren't able to hold the tournament in 2020 and 2021 because of the pandemic. But what that is, it's the Champions League of European Cricket. It's the champion club from 29 European countries, plus the returning ECL champions, VOC Rotterdam. Latin comes back for his 2nd over. Swing and a miss. Yeah, you wonder how Hatchman's going to go about this. I don't think he's as comfortable against the spin of Latin, against a medium pacer. He doesn't have too much time to look around. Push through and hit into the gap. And he does well to stop it, I think, in the end. Probably have another look at this. Oh, they're going to come back for 2, and Latin finds himself in front of the stumps. I think he's just got home here. A couple of things to look at here. The boundary stop and then the run out. I think the boundary stop's fine, and I think the run out's fine as well. So I think it's 2. But let's see what we can show you here. First thing is the stop. I think he doesn't step over the line before touching the ball. And I think he's home. So for all that drama, Joe, it'll just be 2 runs to the Pirates.
Yeah, it all happens out here on the Europa Sports Complex pitch as Latin comes in. That one's short and pulled away pretty comprehensively, but to no avail as it is fielded out there. A deep square leg by Ryan Grimes.
I've got some news as Hatchman moves to 4. He has a birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday, Rick. Well, I hope you get a few Maximos tonight for your birthday, an early birthday present. And maybe a couple of wickets, Rick. You're a great guy. This is in the air, and it's going to fall in between everybody. It'll just be a single. Yeah, Rick, one of the real nice guys of cricket in this region. I've really enjoyed watching his cricketing journey on ECN. I did see him for Costa del Sol in the Spanish Championship weekend last year, and thanks for everything you've done for us here, Rick. We really do appreciate it. I hope you have a very happy birthday and a wonderful year ahead. I hope to see a lot more of you on the European Cricket Network.
Yeah, his teammates will be hoping to see more of him in this innings.
Oh, this could be trouble, and it's put down. It's a difficult one, but low. He made good ground in. He thought for a second it was coming straight down his throat, but then he just saw the ball dying. Came in, did the right thing, got down and dirty.
Yeah, they need to put... Well, Stephen Gilbert showed him how to do it there, and on that occasion, just unable to get to it. How's the crowd, Vinny? Did you hear all
The
those?
crowd's up and about tonight as the end of the 8th over, and it's 60 for 4. So, look, even if you can have a fantastic last 2 overs, maybe 15 off each, you're still only defending 90, which seems a bit below par.
I'm happy to see this. They're going to bring Botter back on to finish his spell. Just want to point out, and I hope I've got this right, but with these 2 wickets he's got, Botter now has his best figures, 2 for 2, and in this series he's gone to second on the wickets tally with 6 in total, only behind Adam or Phillip.
Well, let's see if he keeps those best figures, because 2 for 11 is best from earlier in the season. He just goes for 10 or more. He might not. Could be able to run out here.
Oh, he's... Oof.
That's probably not the worst option, because if he threw that harder, then you might have overthrows, and you're not actually saving a run if you run the batter out there, Garrett. So I think this is, by luck or design, it's probably not a bad option to just kind of throw it moderately. If he hits, he's still gone, but it gives the backup fielder a chance to at least cut off the ball. Full toss, swing and a miss. So Hatchman will be throwing.
Botter's hurt himself.
He looks like he's carrying a little bit of an injury. That's why they moved him off the boundary earlier. He's a really important player for them.
I think just that collection of the ball and attempted a run out has exacerbated things for the young fella.
Still, he's going to soldier on. Another full toss. This time it's hit pretty well. That's Grimes out there, who is able to cut it off and keep it to 1. So how old do you think Rick Hatchman is? I'll give you a guess. Don't you hate that question as always?
So I know he's not listening, so I can have free reign.
Well, he probably will be listening back.
Let's see. Rick Hatchman, I'm going to guess.
I think I know. It's pressure on you, Joe.
Yeah, massive pressure. Don't want to get this wrong.
Oh, he decides to go for this one, and he's
just got to
give away a run.
Just got to do a quick search here.
Botter's in big trouble here. We'll see this on the replay, maybe from camera 1, give us an idea, or perhaps camera 4, because he's gone down and in the act of fielding the ball and flicking it onto the stumps. It looks like he's exacerbated that injury. In fact, that wasn't flicked to the stumps. That just came off his ankle. Walking wounded. But wounded or not, he's going to do the job.
Got another one.
Now, that's not the birthday present that Rick wanted, as Botter, who's on 1 leg, gets a Yorker past his bat. And Botter takes a 3rd wicket now. So 3 for 4. Excellent figures for the teenager. This is where you want to be. And just that little bit of in-swing, I think, finds the gap between bat and pad. And so a 5th wicket falls, and Botter does it again. 62 for 5.
Yeah. Unfortunately for the birthday boy, tomorrow he has to go. I'm going to guess. Oh, he's got the look of a 37, 38-year-old to me.
Well, that's because he's had a stressful few minutes.
Oof.
But I can tell you he'll be 36 tomorrow.
Oh, pretty close.
Pretty close, though. Rick,
36.
happy birthday to you, mate. I know that's not a moment you want to look back at, but I know you do a lot for cricket in this region, and a lot of people have been telling me exactly how much they appreciate how much you have put into cricket here. So wishing you all the best. Hope you have a happy day, and hope that there's happy times ahead with Gibraltar cricket, which will include the Gibraltar Premier League, which follows on from this tournament. The local competition. Boda is heading down the leg side. Richie Cunningham,
great
who
spell.
comes out for a bat. Yeah, so that will lend it, will it, for Boda? Yeah, so only 3 in total off that over. So he's going to finish with figures of 3 for 4, assuming that was a leg by, which I think it was.
And look, for me, that was the trick that they lost the other night in that golden ball situation. I would have personally given Botta the ball for that one.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's been the pick of the bowlers, and he now moves to equal top of the wicket-taking rankings.
yeah, it's a tough one in hindsight, isn't it? Latin had bowled well in that game, so I can understand why the captain took the ball. But yeah, Botta would have been another very, very decent option. Here's Nesta, who gets to bowl the second over tonight.
Gets the ball and over.
Yeah, well, that's right. Hey, athletic work.
Yeah, great work.
Keynes, he gets down. Yeah, well, he's a bit older than Botta, but looking fighting fit. Kenroy, look at this. Goalkeeper style. Down and low to his right. Yeah, Iggy appreciating the work from Botta. 3 for 4, saying it's unbelievable. It's a good spell. Short. Oof,
that is a nasty delivery.
It is.
And a nasty delivery.
This one gets past 2 bald men. Firstly, Cunningham, who didn't know too much about it, and Bazaglo couldn't handle it. Bazaglo keeping both games tonight for the first time in the series, rather than giving the gloves away to Crom. I'm happy to see Richie C wearing a helmet. That one whistled past his ears. He'll find himself at the other end, which I think he'll be pretty comfortable with against Kenroy. That's his next one. Well, that would have been out. It was a powerful throw that came in from cover. But they do get through for a single, but really not too much damage on the scoreboard. In fact, we haven't seen a boundary since the 6th over. In fact, it was 5.2. 5.1 and 5.2 were both boundaries of Reyes, but since then they've lost 3 wickets. They haven't picked up a boundary and just won 2. They really have shut the gate. This is a nice shot though, but once again, we'll find the fielder. Cunningham off the mark this time.
Well, yeah, the last 4 overs, Vinny, going for 3, 6, 3, and just 3 off this one so far.
Yeah, that's right. 2 balls to come. Get a boundary either here. So Garrett gets a 5th run, 67. Yeah, that versus ball. They get something in the 90s, I think, so they haven't quite made that many. I think you can look back to a couple of things. Ferrari getting out after 17 balls for 24 is one of them. Panchal, Badaloya, not really able to do too much. His last ball of the innings. And I wonder if they'll try for 2 here. I don't think they will in the end. And so, pretty clinical performance by Bavaria.
Very
We're out for revenge, aren't they? And in the end, they hold the Pirates to 68 for 5. And the Pirates, they look under attack, don't they, in this match 14, as Bavaria look to square this mini-series.
Yeah, and the tone was really set there by the opening bowlers, Robin Petrie and Kenroy Nessa. I thought they both bowled pretty well despite going for a couple of boundaries. The dot balls were abundant and lots of threatening deliveries as well.
Let's have a look at some of the highlights. And early on it was Petrie who got the new ball duties. And that was a nice shot turned away by Louis Bruce, who seemed to just back himself with the big shots a little bit more. That one got to the boundary, but it wouldn't be too long before his innings would be over as he skied that one. Looked around nervously to find Bazaglo under the ball. He was the first to fall. Twin 9s for Bruce tonight in night 7 of action. Then Ferrari, as usual, so important. Ravi Panchal looked good as he struck that boundary for 4, but he'd make no more as Ferrari went about his work, and he certainly was good at putting away the loose delivery. And well, that was a gift which the Pirates sorely needed. And Mo Ferrari was doing his best to keep things ticking, and they needed a wicket from somewhere, didn't they, Bavaria? That was a no ball that went to the boundary, but it was Panchal that found himself stumped. Smart work from Richard Bazaglo behind the stumps to remove him. Just had his heel in the air there, and yeah, with the exception of Ferrari, no one reaching double figures in this innings. And yeah, you saw that once he was removed, Ferrari, they found it really difficult. In fact, they didn't even get another boundary after he was out, so that made things really tough That was the wicket that they wanted, and I think that Reyes was pretty happy to find that ball in his hands, and from there it was all Bavaria, and particularly Samarth Boda with an outstanding spell of seam bowling.
Yeah, what a beautiful contribution by the young man. 3 for 4 off his spell, and it was really in those overs with Andrew Reyes containing fairly well in the middle, but then after his overs, Samarth Boda, Ian Latin and Kenroy Nesta really tightening the screws.
Yeah, I like the way Boda just zeroed in at the stumps. He wasn't too worried about the pace, but he was zeroing in at those stumps. That's exactly what you want to do at any point in the innings, really, but particularly at the end. And you see there, it was only Ferrari. They hit double figures. 24 off 17, the top scorer. Then it was Louis Bruce with 9, but unfortunately he couldn't get more than the 2 boundaries. And a much improved performance with the extras. This time we had 11 avoidables, down from 20 in the first match with 7 wides, 2 no balls and 2 byes. I think they can still improve from that, but I think they'll be reasonably happy to keep the Pirates to 68. And with the ball, well, no doubt who the star was there. 3 for 4 for Boda, who's having a really good week with the ball. Latin returned and only conceded 11. They found it hard to get him away. The other wickets went to Kenroy Nesta and Andrew Reyes. Petrie as well, a couple of loose deliveries, but still he was under 10 and over. So you really have to say it was a team effort from Bavaria with the ball. So that's the state of play here in match 14. When we return, it will be Bavaria. They'll want to take something out of the night, and to do so, they'll need to win. And to do that, they'll need 69 off their 10 overs. Join us in just a few minutes. Vinny Sandu here, Mr. Maximo, along with Joe Bogassani. We'll see you shortly. You're watching ECN, and this is the FanCode European Cricket T10. Hello and welcome back to the Europa Sports Complex on the southern tip of Gibraltar, on the southern tip of Europe. Vinny Sandu here, Mr. Maximo for the European Cricket Network, and you are tuned in to ECN. This is the FanCode European Cricket T10, Gibraltar, and match 14, night number 7. After tonight, it'll be 1 week of action down. First time we've been to Gibraltar, and this is the second leg of a double header between Bavaria and the Pirates. Pirates notching up their first win of the series in match 13. But they've made things very difficult for themselves in this match so far, the first half of match 14. They've only compiled 68 runs off their 10 overs. Only their captain, Kieran Ferrari, reaching double figures. And it'll have to be one of the best defences we've seen, although we have seen scores in the 60s occasionally defended. The record is 63 by Decathlon in Greece, and also Men in Blue in Spain, both achieving those defences during 2021. But Bavaria, I mean, they'll be very keen to knock these off and also do it in quick time, because net run rate could be a factor as we determine the final placings. Here's Punchal to open the bowling for the Pirates. Goes upstairs. And I think this one will be called a wide. Now, there's the signal from Ravi, who did struggle just to control those short balls before, found himself bowling a couple over the shoulder, over the head even, which resulted in some extras and a free hit. So he hit pretty nippy conditions, although temperature still listed as 16 degrees. Feels a lot colder than that once the sun goes down. Bat on ball. And it's Mel Farrell who has come out to open the batting this time with Reyes. So Crom was used and put together a handy 20 in the first game, but I think they're just looking to just mix things up a bit. Farrell did bat in the middle order earlier, so I wonder where they'll bat Nesta. I do think that Latin will go into his number 3 position. That makes sense to me. Also, you'd have to ask themselves how many batters they'll need to knock these over. They'll be hoping to not need too many. See Reyes and strike for the first time as the umpire. Just nice little body check on Ravi Punchal. I often do say you got to be careful putting your arm out, because you don't know who's coming out. There we go. That's from a little bit earlier. Ferrari and Bruce came out to open the batting. That was the new ECN walk of the night. Anyway, Punchal. Well bowled. They brought in a back pad. Well, they're obviously really desperate for some early wickets, and they brought in Cunningham, and I don't even think I've ever seen that position before. As welcome Joe Wegasani back in the commentary box. What do you make of this?
Hello, Vinny. Well, it's all happening here. A bat pad in T10 cricket.
They've already used the one bouncer for the over. They can still bowl a short ball, just can't be over the shoulder. Well, this one comes off the pad, I think, for a leg by. And you know, the danger is, Joe, with these kind of targets, sometimes you can be a little bit too conservative and bat yourself into a bit of a hole. And I think the key...
Yeah, well, we saw that the other night with Tarek, didn't we?
Yeah, with Tarek. And then also, you think that the Colpe Giants had a few issues chasing a low target, I think, on the second night of action. I'd always approach it as chasing 100 anyway. Go for that 10 and over. You don't need to be too careful early on. Still have the 10 wickets to use. Punchal, yeah, he's fired up. You know, he's just trying to keep it as dry as possible. If you can get a decent power play of, say, 10 to 15, well, suddenly it looks like it feels like you've got a total of 80 or 90 on the board, which is a bit more realistic of a defence. Although, like I said, we have seen some defences in the 60s, but they've been few and far between. Yeah,
it's cumulative pressure, isn't it? Every dot ball will just grow that little seed of doubt in the mind.
One's just deflected away to backward point for 1.
I don't mind this seeing Mel Farrell come up. I thought he batted too low in the last innings.
Yeah.
And I think it's an interesting call to have him come out and open.
I like the way the teams have shuffled their batting orders and even who they're playing, because they do have squads of about 20. I know they're all keen to get back into the cricket, and it's been a balancing act. Obviously, you want to be competitive, but I think it's all also about giving opportunities to a bunch of players, and then to have a look at them under pressure, especially with GPL coming up at the conclusion of this series. This one almost brings the bat pad into play. So very good first over from Punchal, who gets it right. Only 4 off that over. 4 for no loss after 1.
Sensational opening over from Punchal. And obviously had in mind what he wanted to do and executed it rather brilliantly. So not a bad little setup for Louis Bruce to come in now and bowl the second over.
Yeah, for sure. Just want to say a quick hello to BK Merrimup in the chat, who says good evening to myself and Joe. Well, good morning. Good morning, or I should say good evening, more likely, to you, BK, and
BK.
everyone else in the chat. Make sure you say hello to us. We love the interaction. It's one of the unique and special things about watching cricket on ECN. You can react with us in real time.
It's true. They don't let us talk to anyone but each other. So we've just got, Vinny and I, we've just got each other and you out there as our outlets.
We've got Gibraltar questions. Send them over. We're not experts, but we've learned a fair bit in the last few days, haven't we?
Yeah, it's been educational. There's no doubt about that.
Here's Louis Bruce. He won't bowl just yet. But to have any chance here, I mean, you're going to get through the top 4 while dodging, too many boundaries. So it's going to be tough, but it's a good start from Punchal.
And a good test here for Louis Bruce.
Definitely.
Just a ball containing a spell.
And this one going nowhere fast. Well, they moved Cunningham out of the bat pad. Maybe they want to get him back in there. Just seen it pop up.
I was wondering where Cunningham was, and then I realised he was wearing a helmet at bat pad.
He's very distinctive, isn't he? Jeez, he's a good guy as well.
Lovely.
So many characters in gym cricket.
It's culture, isn't it? And cricket clubs and sports teams are all about culture. And what we have here are 5 clubs spread across a fantastic facility that is just imbibed with good culture.
Well bowled. Is there an edge on this? The umpire says, well, I don't have to make a decision because he's on his way and Farrell's going to walk. Well, good sportsmanship. Once again, that in movement from Bruce as the teenager does the trick. He hasn't conceded a run and now picks up the wicket. See this on the replay. Yeah, it was a healthy inside edge. And look, credit to the players as well. A lot of them choosing to walk off when they know they've edged the ball. So the game being played in very good spirits as well. And Farrell will be disappointed, but he's got to go as Bavaria lose their first. It's 4 for 1.
Yeah, and that brings the Bavaria skipper Ian Latin out to the crease. And I think that is a sort for sore eyes if you're a Bavaria fan. Seeing him back in the lineup, he just always looks like he's a man on a mission, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I think he'll be super keen to get some runs as well after missing out against Culpe Giants. There's a lot of pressure on him to fire. They'll be expecting big things out of their captain. And what a challenge for Louis Bruce as well. It's been good so far, right on the money. And here he is to the Pirates captain. Just leans on this one, gets off the mark with 1. But that's also the thing when you know you're chasing 69. A player like Latin, he knows doesn't have to take too many unnecessary risks. It all comes down to how risky you are and your decision making in the middle. And I think that they're parts of his game that he has pretty well down.
Absolutely, Vinny. But it is also making sure that you are playing your natural game, not being held back the other way either. It is a balance.
This will be a wide down leg side. But you saw the partnership between these two was crucial against the Sloggers as Bavaria knocked over the target of 127 in the end with 9 balls to spare, and they really took things up a notch when they needed to. So I think they're two most kind of prestigious batsmen, if you like, although Nesta probably has a claim as well. But I think going on this series, I think these two are the two you want out there. Well bowled by Bruce, beats the bat.
I really like how Bruce just pushes through the crease when he bowls. He really gives it that extra effort.
He's an ideal player to bowl at the start of the innings, really, because he's tall, he gets a lot of bounce, he gets a lot of movement with that new ball as well. And players certainly are have in the back of their mind that they want to preserve their wicket a bit more than if he was bowling at the end. Goes straight, and this one, unfortunately for Latin, he doesn't time it well enough as it bounces well before reaching the fielder. We saw with Latin the other night, when he looks good, he looks really good. But like everyone in this form of the game, he is prone to making mistakes. And if he gets one of those just off the middle of the bat, not quite out of the middle of the bat, then it will present opportunities. take a player like Pi, who was dropped 4 times last night. He's a very good player. Got to take your chances.
Yeah, 3 of them in a row.
Oh, this is drop kicked, and that's gone a long way over deep backward square leg. Maximo!
Yeah.
Reyes, 4 dots, but he gets off the mark in style as he finishes the second over with a bang. So Louis had some fun at the start of the over, but it was Reyes having the fun at the end of the second. It's 14 for 1.
Yeah, and this is the power of Reyes, isn't it? When it's in his hitting zone, he has a really quick bat speed through the stroke and very, very powerful through the shoulders, so no big surprise there.
That's just the experience of using the pace as well. With no one back there, Reyes knew he doesn't have to try and hit that very hard. We have seen a lot of slow bowling options in here in this series where players have had to try and make the pace. You see there that the Pirates, well, they risk going back to the bottom on net run rate if they lose this game. The way it's going, that might be where they are spending the night. Anyway, Punchal, they're going to throw him again at Latin. Starts with a wide. I think it makes sense. I mean, when you're trying to defend 68, you got to just try and throw all your resources up front and just try and get your team back in the game.
Absolutely agree with that, Vinny. And could see that the Pirates Brain Trust is doing just that.
Punchal would love to see the back of Latin. Latin knows.
Yeah, I think Latin knows that he just has to see this out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to be uber defensive. You can still look for a bad ball and punish it. But they know, look, the rate we need, only 7 and over, so they want to be about 21 to be on target. Obviously, you want to do it a bit quicker because I think if it does come down to breaking the tie with net run rate, that's important. But I guess the most important thing is getting the 2 points for the win. Punchal in again. Oh, and this one's going to be extras, 5 of them, and this is why I can afford to be patient. This one really takes off the surface and beats the outstretched Richard Bazaglo behind the stumps. Just have a look at this, and there is something in this pitch, I think. That one really took off.
It's not the first time we've seen that tonight either.
Just the combination of the movement and the bounce. This will be a really good look at it, actually. It just takes off and just never comes down. I should mention, sorry, it's Ferrari behind the stumps now, of course. The team swapped over, but Ferrari, who's a good keeper, just got a fingertip on that. And that hurts. 5 extras. And goes back. Just defensively prods this one behind point for 1. With Lighthouse in the background, which
adds an extra light tower.
It does, doesn't it? Just when it comes on, just sort of the light flashing on and off. Any good on your? Is it Morse code? Is it a version of Morse code that they use, isn't it?
Light tower communication.
Yeah, I think it is. Someone tell me. I mean,
it would make sense. I'm not sure actually.
But it's not
if we see it flashing 3 times quickly and 3 times long,
that's the only one.
We've got to put everything down and go and help out the lighthouse keeper.
This is just paddled nicely, and the result's going to be 4 more runs. And Punchal's pace being worked against him there by Reyes, who didn't quite hit his straps in the first game tonight. And this time, he just got inside that one. He just rode the bounce, kept it down. The result, 4 carreras más para Bavaria.
Yeah, I'd say there's been a fair few shipwrecks around here, Vinny, and that lighthouse obviously done a pretty good job throughout the years of preventing any more.
I'm thinking that it's not Morse code that lighthouses actually do. It's just on off to show you where the land is.
Might be just scoring.
It is.
Scoring.
There are some things like there's. I'm going back to my childhood now. Certain coloured paddles. Is that semaphore? Come on, I'm going deep into the recesses of my brain here. They have certain communication systems.
Ships used to communicate with flags.
Yeah, flags. Colour flags. Yeah.
Pennants.
Gosh, you're my go-to man here.
Pennants.
Spend the next 2 overs researching this and present the report to me at the start of the 5th over.
I'm on it.
This one's edged, and it's just knocked away from the slip. Well, Ferrari went full length, and this was their chance to get rid of Reyes. Pancho, he'll be disappointed. As Joe heads into the books. Look at that, big edge, and they had the slip there waiting, Cunningham, but it was just knocked away from him. This will be a great look at it. Oh, it was so close. And how often do you have a slip? Not that often. And unfortunately for Pirates, that is one they can't grasp. Last ball of the power play. Reyes just wants to preserve his wicket now. This one will be a leg bye to finish the over. He'll retain the strike. End of the power play after 3 overs. Bavaria are 26 for 1. Yes, it's been a great time here in Gibraltar. I have been up preparing for ECL, and I'll be back there tomorrow. So you won't hear from me until potentially the final. I'll try and organise to get down to watch the end of the tournament with Joe, who's doing a great job. Not just cricket commentator Joe, he's also going to. He's got the report early.
I'm pretty impressed with you, Vinny. Semaphores.
Semaphore. Okay, tell me about what semaphore is, because I know the word.
Yeah, well,
Do you want to, actually, you've still got 2 overs. You don't have to hand in the project just yet. Anyone in the chat that wants to chip in as well?
I assure you, this is the first time I've ever completed a project before the very last minute.
That's fair. I have enjoyed working with you. Just those who don't know, Joe is quite successful as a tour guide around Europe previously, in conjunction with his work with us. So I know that you have a keen interest in the history of Europe.
Yeah, I work particularly in the history of the Netherlands. Make the History of the Netherlands podcast.
Yeah.
So for anyone who's
give it a plug.
Just
anyone look up History of the Netherlands.
History of the Netherlands, yeah, and all your podcasts search engines, and
wherever you get your podcasts,
you'll get a comprehensive, detailed account of the history of the lowlands.
Suarez returns. Now this is in the air. Someone's got to get near this, surely.
Stevenson
was on the treadmill. You can't really doubt his efforts. He was trying to get there. He was running with the flight of the ball. At the moment, Reyes is living a charmed life. That one was skied, but it was skied safely. Just a single. Now I'm curious about what semaphore is. Is it the flags? Is it the flags?
Semaphore is merely a term for signalling.
Yeah,
it comes from the old Greek word sema, meaning signal, and so you can communicate Morse code through semaphores. So you can use fire, you can use flags, you can use smoke.
Yeah. These days, probably send a text though.
On WhatsApp. Watch out.
Imagine if they had texting back in the Middle Ages. I always wonder what they'd look like. Pulled away. And this is a big chase for the man on the boundary. But he will cut it off, Bruce. Rare fumble, but doesn't cost the Pirates.
Well, if there's one thing I've learnt from my study of history, Vinny, it's that people in the past were worrying about many of the same things that we worry about today.
Yeah, understand that. Certain human needs.
Frivolities.
Yeah. Cracked away. I often think that we can't imagine what it'd be like to live 300 or 400 years ago, but I'm sure that people in 300 or 400 years, we haven't blown up the planet by then, they'll probably wonder how we did without whatever their creature comforts will be. So
I often think about that. My fear is that people in 500 years are going to find a microchip with only Twitter data on it, and they're going to rebuild the past based only on tweets.
This is going to be 5 more wides, and Ferrari took the gamble to come up to the stumps, but this is a difficult one to handle down the leg side. And now it's the Pirates that have been plagued by extras. Ferrari just hopes that left hand gets some of the ball, just gets a touch on it, but it's very difficult for the keeper to get there in time. And now that rate goes below a runner ball for the first time.
Yeah, it's a bit par for the course this at the moment for Bavaria. It's going to take something for the Pirates. They really need, obviously, a wicket, but just a containing over here.
Certainly. This one, a rare dot. We were hoping for a couple of close contests between these teams, so I thought we're fairly evenly matched. I think I said before the first game, had the Pirates slight favourites without Latin in the lineup. I feel like he swings the balance a little bit, but it's also how everyone else has played. I think now the bowlers in these middle overs struggling to keep things quiet. Although that's a good finish from Suarez.
I'll give you a sorry, Vinny.
Not at all. I'm just going to tell you that off that over, they turned out to be 9, including the 5 wides. So 4 overs down. It's 35 for 1. Tell me what else you got.
So there's another interesting tidbit I've learned about Gibraltar,
yeah,
which is that there is evidence that there were Neanderthals living here
Okay.
around 50,000 years ago.
Is that right?
Yeah, and evidence that they were living here up until around 24,000 years ago,
Wow.
which is longer
recent.
than anywhere else in Europe.
Wow. So obviously,
So this was the
obviously liked
last,
it here.
the last den of the Neanderthal in
Is that
Europe.
right?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, probably Saturday night. if you head into the
Ah.
head into the middle of the town
Yeah.
around midnight, you might spot a couple.
I find the ECN crew. Yeah.
So yeah, that's very fascinating information.
Yeah. Looking for the next cricket team. Yeah.
Some places you go, I mean,
Neanderthals.
obviously, you know, I've been to many places. I'll wait for this ball. As this is Garrett getting a ball, and Latton's upset. He hasn't put that away. That'll be a dot. Yeah, I've been to so many places, but some just have a character that you think, well, this is really unlike anywhere else.
Yeah.
Certainly Gibraltar has that feel about it, doesn't it?
100%. Absolutely. Yeah, I've never been anywhere like it. Also, Lilinia over the border,
Yeah.
where we're staying, is a town unlike any I've ever been to.
Yeah.
It feels.
Been into the middle of Linear.
Yeah. I went for a wander last night.
Nicely punched away by Latten. I don't think he'll beat the sweeper. Just be one. And it's
It was absolutely. It's very quiet until you turn one corner, and then it is absolutely packed with people.
yeah. And there's some good kind of vehicle-free kind of laneways there, if you like,
Yep.
with a lot of businesses and restaurants.
Yep.
And yeah, I've enjoyed it.
And the other thing that's been happening is there's been some Spanish guitar festival
That sounds fun.
going on. I'm not sure if you missed this.
Reyes misses this. This one hits him right in the front, let's say.
So as you know, we're staying in a hotel that you departed last night.
Yeah, let me guess.
And
You heard the Spanish Guitar Festival?
well, they're staying at the hotel.
Oh, is that
every
right?
single, and so they wear these black outfits with these kind of puffy pantaloons.
Oh, I really left it
And
bad time.
yeah, it was unbelievable.
Toss. Out by Reyes.
No, I
One
was
run.
expecting to see our colleague Maxi Hook
He doesn't mind a bit of guitar, does he?
leave the ECN circuit, go and grab one of these outfits. So they wear these black outfits with pantaloons and stockings, and these kind of colourful
So
V
the authentic
vests.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's hundreds of them. It's hundreds of
Plague of Spanish
a
guitars.
plague of Spanish guitarists. Yeah, wandering around La Linea.
Slow ball.
Oh,
And
shot.
nothing slow off the bat from Latten, who goes up, and away. That's a rocket to the moon. It's a no ball too. Well, that one's halfway to 7. Give him halfway to heaven. Give him 7. Maximum time.
There you go.
And, well, that's the worst possible scenario. Garrett tried the slow ball. It didn't really work out for him.
Oh, this just exemplifies Ian Latton's batting prowess. His head was perfectly still. His eyes were on that ball from the moment it left the bowler's hands, and he just swiveled with ideal balance. We're all right until the end, almost ideal balance.
Well, a bit of hotel news, because I did take the trip up, what was it, 2 nights ago now, wasn't it, to where we're staying at, Sunset Beach Resort at Benalmádena in Malaga. And for those of you who were following the saga last year, after I played a couple of impromptu concerts that kept the bar open too late, the piano had disappeared from the bar restaurant there. And Latten wants more, and he's going to get more. He'll get 4 more. This one wasn't timed as well. I think he just expected the pace on the ball. He set himself for that stroke. And now, really, you feel like this game isn't going to go the journey. Yeah, so unfortunately, they still haven't replaced the piano in the bar restaurant. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they used it for firewood. That's right. It was either because that was terrible or because it was keeping people around too late. They really didn't like staying past 10 o'clock in that particular facility.
I've heard tale told of your musical prowess on the piano, Vinny. Anyone out there?
Say it's
Looking forward to your TikTok channel coming out soon.
This one's big. It's up. It's high. It's far. That is 6 more to Latten Maximo as Garrett goes for 19 and Bavaria past 50. And this game is on life support. It's 54 for 1. Only 15 required off the second half of this innings.
Yeah, just such a joy to watch this. Yeah, well, I'm going to say young man, 37 years young, Ian Latton. Just became a father for the second time, just the first night of our series. And he is enjoying himself out in the crease.
Well, tomorrow night we do have some more cricket. And Luke Belgium has has foreshadowed it. It will be Bavaria playing Tarek twice tomorrow. So Bavaria, that'll be 2 crunch games from them. We saw Tarek, well, they were a bit down on personnel last night. We'll have to see what their team looks like. Samir Nayak, he was on national commitments last night as the assistant coach of the setup here in Spain. But I'm not quite sure what their 11 will look like. But Bavaria, it's an opportunity for them to make up for that loss tonight. And they'll want to win at least one of those games, hopefully 2 against Tarek, who have been leading the league, to press their chances of featuring on finals day. Well, this one's in the air, and this one should be caught. And it is caught by Ataloya. Yeah, and so consolation wicket, you'd have to say Reyes, who after a couple of decent shots, he didn't have a lot of the strike of late. This one is just mistimed. It's a leading edge. I think he's trying to hit the leg side, if anything. Ataloya made the ground, takes a good catch. 2 wickets down now, 54 for 2.
Yeah, disappointing for Reyes, although he was playing the support role for his captain there. And that shot, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. He just seemed to be playing it to the wrong side. Got his foot into a good position. If he just opened up his bat a little bit and tried to play square of the wicket on the off, I feel like he would have got some value for that shot. As it is Kenroy and Nesta, K-Ness, coming out to join the Latin dancing master.
Yeah, so much of this game is decision making, isn't it? And Latin seems like he's really waiting for the bad ball tonight, and then punishing it. Here's K-Ness. Let's see if he's in the mood to stick around. Oh, he slides out of his crease. Yeah, it's going to be called a wide. I've seen him having a few problems with the surface, and there's normally a little bit of dew around at this time of night. Yeah, he seems to be slipping a bit more than a few other players. Check his footwear.
Latin goes to number 3 at the moment on the batting rankings in this series so far, behind only Avinash Pai and Lorne Burns.
I feel like he will end up somewhere near the top.
Yeah.
He's just too good. Nesta can end it in 2.5 hits. He tries. This is in the air. Oh, it'd be a good catch if he can hold on to this one. Oh, it goes down. That is Richard Cunningham.
Yeah, tough one that for Dick Cunningham.
Yeah, he was turning and going with the flight, but then the issue is also he's dealing with the floodlights over there. This would have been one of the catches of the tournament. You see, he doesn't quite turn himself around, which gives him at least a chance to take it kind of running alongside the ball. That kind of sums it up for the Pirates. Just those half chances not going their way in this match. Kenroy.
Well, he's duped him.
Yeah, it's going to be more extras. There's going to be 5 more wides. Might have been a stumping opportunity, to be honest, but it's difficult for the keeper. Kenroy's moving around. You see, I reckon he falls out of his crease. I don't know if I've got that from side on, but it's going to be 5 wides. So, yeah, it's been the Pirates that have struggled with the extras in this game. I don't even want to have a look at them, but I will. It's with those 5 wides, we are up to 19 extras, including 15 wides and a no ball. So 16 avoidables in 5.2 overs. It's about 3 and over. That's just way too many. There's a bit of a conference now.
Yeah, a bit of a hamstring.
Yeah, I think Suarez is going to go off. So that's going from bad to worse. I don't want an injury in a game like this where it's all over bar the shouting, really. But Advani, it looks like he's going to finish the over. So had a couple of bowlers unable to complete overs tonight for different reasons.
Always good for the statisticians among you.
Yeah, it's a shame. Suarez, I've enjoyed watching him throughout the series. And right now, only 7 are required. It's just a wide, not a no ball, so it won't be a free hit coming up. Still 4 legal deliveries. Suarez did pick up a wicket of Reyes earlier in this over. Just a reminder, tomorrow, there it is, night 8 of 11, start of a new week.
But also,
yeah, just saying Bavaria versus Tarek tomorrow. So interesting clash. Tarek on the slide a little bit. Bavaria, well, they've been inconsistent, let's say, but I'm sure they'll be hoping that Latin's available for both those matches tomorrow. Starting at 4:30 GMT, which is 5:30 in Central Europe, 10 PM in India. You'll be here, Joe, and I'll be watching just like everyone else, just like everyone else that enjoyed the Golden Ball last night.
Yeah.
Golden ball number 26.
Got no doubt there are plenty more surprises in store for us here in Gibraltar, Vinny.
That lawyer actually will finish this over.
Just want to point out for Suarez, he's gone for 117 or for 1.2, but in those 8 deliveries, he did have 2 lots of 5 wides.
Yeah, ouch. Speaking of wides.
So actually bowled pretty well.
And that lawyer, it's not often that you take a catch in an over in the field and also bowl some of the over. That's what he's going to do.
Trivia. Good trivia.
I wonder if he can take a wicket in this over. Can't remember anyone doing that before. Well, he might, but also might go for 6. Big hit by Keynes, who's had about enough of this cricket caper. And, well, they're going to finish with a bang, I think. This one, I think, ties the scores.
Yeah, I believe
That's a big
does.
Maximal as Bavaria. In fact, I think that'll do it. Yeah, after checking, that is are the winning runs. And Sadaloya, he will go for 7 off his only delivery. He's the owner of a 42 economy rate, but regardless, it is Bavaria that do it with plenty of time to spare. In fact, they end up winning 69 off 5.3 to Pirates 68, so they win with 27 balls to spare. Comprehensive stuff, but still, each of the teams getting something out of tonight, finishing a game apiece.
Yeah, 100%. It's really good for the Pirates to have notched up that victory, but I think it also kicked the Bavarian team into action, where they've seen if they are to push into that top 2 spot, they need to do it with victories and also better run rate, as we have a look at some of the highlights of the innings. And it was, of course, Mel Farrell who went out to open. He was elevated to the top of the order. He got out to Louis Bruce in the second over, and then it was all up to Reyes and Ian Latin, and those 2 would perform the bulk of the runs. It wasn't that many runs that they needed, and they were certainly helped out with some loose bowling. Ravi Panchal not quite getting things right, and when he did get his line right, his length was sometimes just a little bit too short. Yeah. Especially to a player of Reyes' capability on the leg side.
Just some of these half chances just didn't stick for the Pirates, didn't they? That's Ferrari, who I think he probably catches that more often than he doesn't. And there's some wasteful ones. Suarez, there's one of those batches of 5 wides. And then this is another one, which I think turned out to be a 7. No ball plus 6. So Latin, what will he finish on? Decent score, just did what was required. 22 not out off 11. That's not going to do his average any harm. Kenroy comes out and hits 8 off 2, including the 6 to finish the game. In amongst it all, saw some big hits. That was one of the 2 6s that he hit. It certainly made a big difference to their team. In the end, it's an early finish to night number 7 of action.
Yeah, that's right. 7 nights in.
Consolation wicket as Apoloya got Reyes for 13, but pretty wasteful in the end. I mean, 22 not out was the best score, but there were actually 24 wides in that innings, or 24 runs in extras, I should say, including 20 wides. So in the first game, it was Bavaria struggling with the wides. In the second game, the Pirates had the curse, and in the end, extras the highest scorer. Well, that might have been extras player of the match, and it's just the video was just the umpires with their arms outstretched. But in the end, you'd have to say that you just knew 68 was never going to be enough, especially with the addition of Ian Latin into the side for Bavaria. Yeah, that all went pretty much as one could have expected, and I think it don't even need to be the supercomputer Crickbot bat versus ball wall in the ECN laboratories to have predicted the outcome of this match. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, game apiece, and I think we'll have a look at the ladder in a few moments, but I think with that, the Pirates, with the nature of that loss, I think they're going to dip back down to the bottom, which isn't where they want to finish, but they do have some points on the board at least. They have a crucial couple of games against sloggers that could decide who makes it to night number 11. Remember, one team will be eliminated from the competition after match 20, and then there will be a playoff for 3rd and 4th before the final. That's on Wednesday night, coinciding with day 3 of the ECL, of course, which starts in 2 days' time. As you see, just a couple of tall towers in those middle overs, and you knew it wasn't going to be too long before Bavaria. We're back in the sheds, and looks like we've got an early night, Joe. That's the Rock of Gibraltar, the Bavarian urban development chart right there, dropping off into the sea as that match came to a close. And they
big thank you to everybody for tuning in, and also just want to give big thanks once again to everyone here at the Europa Sports Complex and involved with these 5 teams. And of course, there's so many good volunteers running around helping us be fed and making sure the lights are on, all that kind of thing.
Tim the tool man, that's also always going around keeping an eye on us, making sure that we get everything we need. A big thank you as well to the Blue crew, the ECN crew, for their work. And I know they're loving being here in Gibraltar. There is the table. And you see the Pirates did get points tonight, but that loss puts them back down the bottom. And Sloggers and Pirates, seems to me like they're probably slogging it out for 4th spot at the moment.
Booty.
Still, no one wants to be in that 5th place, so the Pirates, they still have something to play for. At the other end of the table, well, Tarek and the Calpe Giants have those top 2 spots. Bavaria, probably the only team you can see challenging for the final now. So I feel like the list of potential finalists is now 3. That's why those 2 games between Bavaria and Tarek are so crucial tomorrow night. In fact, it's their last 2 matches for both of those teams. And look, with 2 big wins, Bavaria could even go to the top tomorrow night. So really anything's possible. I'll certainly be tuning in tomorrow night to see what will be a crucial night number 8.
Yeah, and we hope that you'll be tuning in too from wherever you are watching around the world. Thank you very much for joining us here for the FanCode T10 ECN series here in Gibraltar.
That's right. Vinny Sandu here, Mr. Maximo.
And Joe Wegasani tuning out now. Until tomorrow. Ciao for now.
I'll see you tomorrow, and see the rest of you at ECL. See you tomorrow for more FanCode European Cricket T10.